Oh, Eddie, one other thing. Your choice. It's either you up here or
Alright, we're live.
they, and it's
Stop the notification.
you looking out at them.
Cameras, we're live.
Since it looks like Claire's gonna. Yeah, let's twist these.
This is not so leave us alone.
I will, it's just where the camera is going.
I'm subscribed to.
I don't want your glare to distort.
So anytime
the transmission.
a live video that
Just
pops up, I get a notification.
All right.
So it just said
And there's Nina.
Thursdays, it's for Tuesdays.
So gang, we have Eddie Levin is teaching today, Find Your Business, and it's gonna be great. And we are gonna take a group photo at one point because we're gonna do a social media post with it.
Sweet.
Groovy, and I'll let you introduce Tony. We have a guest who's gonna inspire you, speak. So,
You're good?
Stacy,
yes,
do I have a book?
it was right there, back there on the table with your name on it.
Did you
Thank
sign
you.
in, Deborah?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so that's the drill. Sign in. It's back there where I'm putting them on that table. And pick up a instructor evaluation. We have to do that every time. It's a graph requirement. Sherry usually kind of rolls in last, I think she's coming from Conyers or something. I feel like I didn't get an evaluation from somebody that was here because I was on Wednesday from Mia. So please check your books if you tucked it away and didn't turn it in. And make sure Doreen,
We'll let Doreen introduce.
Doreen!
We'll start with Doreen, let her
and
introduce.
then Deborah, because they don't know Deborah either.
All right.
So tell us what you've been doing before real estate, something about your family or whoever's at home. You know, you have somebody in school, and something we might not guess about you.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact, no one tell.
I'm Doreen. I'm from Florida originally, and my dad was a real estate broker, agent, and builder. So I sort of grew up around real estate. I've done some renovations in Florida and some here in Atlanta. And I figured I might as well be official and get my license.
There's a theme with that. Erica was in the same boat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm also a flight attendant, so.
Awesome. So,
Familiar to me, maybe.
did you just pass the state test like yesterday or something? Or?
It seems like it. I think I passed. It was about 3 weeks ago that I passed it with the new test.
Oh, how was the new one?
It was pretty easy. I mean, I'm a math person, and it was kind of mathy, so yeah.
They have more math than you would expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Deborah. Who are you?
Who am I?
Oh wait, you didn't tell about who's going to school,
My daughter.
right?
Okay.
We're sharing if we have children or pets.
Okay. All right. My daughter's 8 years old, and she's starting 3rd grade on Monday.
There we go.
I'm Deborah Hughes. I was in the mortgage business many years ago for 13 years. And then I was raising my kids. And then I started a women's clothing store in Destin, Florida. Why 6 hours away? Don't ask me, but I had that for 5 years. And I have sold several houses by myself. Sorry, guys. I know that's
As
the
in
no
for sale by owner, yeah.
For sale by owner. I know that's
We're
no
gonna reform you.
And I renovated several and sold them top dollars. I just started thinking the same thing. What am I going to do next? I was like, well, I think I really like real estate. We'll see. I have 3 daughters. One's at University of Texas will be a senior. One's at Florida State will be a sophomore. And then my youngest will be a sophomore in high school.
Oh my gosh.
And we survived 8 days together. Strong-willed children. I know who's going to kill each other first, or kill me, or me kill them. So, anyway, that's why I'm here. That's it.
And are you officially on Brandon Atkins' team?
Yes, right now, yeah.
Okay. Good, and you live in Dunwoody,
Yes, and I live in Dunwoody.
so she's a local, and Eddie lives in Dunwoody, right?
I do.
I've been in Dunwoody 27 years.
Okay, take it away,
All right.
Eddie. Yay, so make our newbies feel welcome. Have some water. And I'm gonna come back and, well, when we do, should we do the photo at break?
Yeah,
And that would be 11:30-ish?
yeah, 11:15, 11:30.
Okay,
Depends how many questions I get.
I will pick the location.
Okay.
Thank you for being here, Tony.
So, I'm Eddie Levin. I've been with Keller Williams about, what month are we in? A year and a half. I've been in the real estate business for over 10 years. Before that, did a little bit of property management. As y'all can tell from my accent, I'm a native of Georgia. My kids are fourth generation. Grew up in the Sandy Springs area, live in Dunwoody now off of Tilly Mill. I have twin daughters who are starting their sophomore year. One's at Kennesaw and one's at University of South Carolina. And then I have two purebred mutts. And the mutts, so we got the dog, so when the kids went off to school, my wife, have somebody be care for and not kill me is the story. I'm sticking to it, and I'll deny it when y'all meet my wife. So that, a little bit about me. Any questions, my door's always open. I do maintain an office in here, which is right across at the end of the bullpen. If y'all know, with a little work area, if you just went straight, you walk right into my office. So if you ever have any questions, need help with something, please let me know. So that's a little bit about me. Real quickly, if I can just, I'm gonna let everybody else go around and just kind of quickly tell me what they were doing or still doing while they're doing real estate, just so I can get a little background. Chanel, did I say it right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start with Chanel. If you'll tell me where you're from, just a little bit, everybody,
Okay, yeah, my name's Chanel Murphy. I'm newly married, so I'm still getting used to this last name. I have a 7-year-old son. His name's Princeton. He just went to 2nd grade yesterday. I am a licensed professional counselor.
Oh, you need that.
Yeah, so I do that while I'm transitioning to this. I do see clients right now 1 day a week, and I think that's all about me.
All right, John?
John Green Sr. I'm married. I have a wife. I have 2 young boys. I have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. My 3-year-old just started pre-K since everybody else's kids in school. As far as what I did before I came here, I did a few different things. Right out of college, I coached collegiately, did strength conditioning. I coached track, strength conditioning, and basketball collegiately, and trained pro athletes. Down in Florida, I was down at IMG for a little bit. A lot of different training facilities here. From there, I did a little pivot because of the lifestyle. I wanted more time with my family, so I went into insurance. So I was an agent aspirant for State Farm. Didn't really like the setup, didn't interest me as far as building my legacy there. So I started, from there I went to UPS Corporate. I was in HR there for about 3 years, and then I decided to make another move into opening my own business again. I started doing a lot of research on millionaires, and the common theme was real estate. So I said I need to learn more about this so I can build a foundation for my future.
All right, great.
Wow, you thought way further through it than
I know. It's beautiful.
Wow. That's
All right.
Hi, I'm Erica. I'm from San Diego, California. I moved here about 10 years ago, started investing. I've done a lot of flip houses and investing in restaurants as well. And I kind of started adding all the commission I was giving away, and I was like, no, I have to like make it official and get my real estate license. I have 3 kids, 21, 19, and 8.
I'm Eliza. I live here in Dunwoody. Good friends with Bill and Kathy Haas. That's kind of why I'm here. No, just kidding. I just always knew that this would be where I ended up. My mother was a real estate broker. My dad is a mortgage broker. That's how I grew up. My background was insurance, company side, underwriting side, marketing side, not agent side. I've been a stay-at-home mom for almost 10 years now. I have a 7-year-old and an almost 5-year-old. And I am a fitness dance instructor. And that's my life. And I just knew I would always end up here, so I'm excited about it.
I am Tiffany. I helped to start the Yogurt Mowgli frozen yogurt concept 10 years ago. I was the corporate director. So I oversaw all 28 of our locations. I hands-on led the 5 corporate stores that we had open we were in like 5 or 6 different states. So that was my baby. I am a newlywed also. We're celebrating our 1-year anniversary next weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. No kids yet. We have a dog who is 11, and he's our baby until we start having Darwin. And got into real estate. My dad was a construction worker up in Pittsburgh. That's where I'm from. And love everything about real estate. I would love to flip houses. But some people told me that they thought I would be a good agent. So I just started looking into it and happened to pass the test, which I'm super grateful for. And here I am in the class.
I'm Amina Lawal. Before this, I was working for a pension planning company who relocated. I'm a student studying business administration, marketing. I have 4 kids. I have twins that are 5. I have a 10 and an 11-year-old now. One's going to middle school this year, so I'm not excited about that. It's the worst years of your life, middle school, so I gotta really keep an eye on him. But yeah, I've always thought about real estate. I have a friend who does it, and other things, other avenues in life I want to like kind of create through this process. So it's just one step at a time. That's it.
Sounds great. Well, this class, hopefully you'll get a lot out of it. There's a lot of this class on the test, as I said, so I will try to make sure we go over that. But before we start, I'm going to let Tony come up, tell about a little bit himself. Tony's a newer agent. He can tell you what he's been doing. It gets a little feel from somebody that's been in this business versus someone that is newer.
All right. So I'm Tony Toich, and I've been with Keller Williams a little over a year now. And when Stacy asked me to speak, I was honored and excited because that means that somebody besides my mother feels like I'm successful at real estate. So when I got into real estate, I was working at Bone Steakhouse. I'm not sure who's familiar with it. It's one of the top restaurants in the country, and it's one like that. And for me to get the set schedule that I had to work 50 hours a week. 50 to 55 really. I worked Wednesday through Sundays. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I was there from 10 to 10. I moved here from LA. I didn't really know anybody, and pretty much right after moving here, me and my now ex-wife started going through a divorce. We get along great, but divorces are never easy. It took about 2 years to get through that, so I didn't get to know anybody. So I've got, I'm working 50 hours a week. When I started here, I imported 50 contacts into my database. So I've got no time, no energy, no contacts, and somehow I want to be a real estate agent. And some people literally said to me, you might want to come up with a different plan. But there was no other plan, all right? I'm not going to be a waiter the rest of my life. I've got big boy, adult bills, and I can't take an entry-level position doing anything else. And real estate was something I actually got like a minor in real estate in college, so I've got some background in it. So working 50 hours a week, I had to find the time and energy to, and I shared custody of my daughter, 50-50 custody. I had to still find the time to make real estate happen. So I essentially worked for a year, 70 to 80 hours a week consistently. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of my first sale, and in my first year in real estate, I did 3 transactions. So I'd say that's a pretty solid first year not knowing anybody in Atlanta. But every day when I wasn't at work, I wasn't with my daughter, I was trying to find something I could do to push that ball forward. And it can seem like when you're getting started, that 3 months is a long time away, but 3 months is not that far away, And and focusing on the big picture is really what you got to do, because this is a long-term business. Right now I've got a bunch of deals in my pipeline, but for instance, a number of them were supposed to go down this summer, and a bunch of those got pushed a year. And a year's not really that long in real estate either. And when you've been in the business for a long time, if you have 20 deals and 6 of them pushed for a year, that's not a big deal. But when you're getting started, that can make or break you, and you got to make sure you're focused beyond that. And it's emotionally draining, especially working 80 hours a week. I was tired every day, and I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this, but I never let myself quit that day. I'd always say, just do a little bit of work. Make a couple follow-up emails. A couple follow-up emails turns into all my emails, turns into a couple calls, turns to all my calls. All of a sudden, a day that I didn't want to do any work, it's 2:30. I've been working for 6.5 hours, and it's time to get my daughter. That's a solid work day. And then I pick up my daughter, I come home, I get a little bit more work done. And you're scared when you're doing it. There are definitely times I'm scared. I'm still scared doing it. I'm scared to door knock. I'm scared to ask my sphere of influence for help. I'm scared to make cold calls. But now, someone who's scared to make cold calls, I spend 12 to 15 hours a week making cold calls. And that's where I drum up most of my business. And when I talk about, I started with 50 contacts in my database. I'm just over a year in. I have probably around 500 contacts in my database. And I'm consistently adding, because I've been building into this and getting better and better at the cold calls and more comfortable with them. I'm now consistently adding 100 contacts to my database a month. I'm adding 2 seller leads to my database a week. So you think about that. And some of those are anywhere from 1 year to 5 years out. But if you build up your business for 2 to 3 years, 4 people, let's say 4 people a month, 3 years out from now, what's that become? Extrapolate that, and even if some of those fall off, that's how this business grows, and it takes a long time to do that. And who knows what your big why is? Anybody know? Have we talked about our big why? Do you have a big why?
Absolutely.
What's your big why?
Legacy. Leave a legacy. Leave a legacy.
Leave a legacy. There you go. All right, good. Your big why is why you do what you do, and my big why is my daughter. I didn't want to be forced to stay in a restaurant business where I was going to miss all the things she's going to do growing up. I wanted time with her. Your big why can't be I want to buy a TV or a new car, because those things are fleeting. You're going to forget about that. But so every day, I typed up and I put for my big why next to my bed when I wake up in the morning, and on the mirror when I'm getting ready. When I was putting on that Bones uniform, button up every single button, tying my tie, it says, do I want to quit Bones? Yes. Make your calls, no excuses. And you got to do the work. And you got to be honest about doing the work. Because if you don't do it, nobody's going to make you do it. The people here, they want to see you succeed. But ultimately, if you don't do the work, they're not going to make you do it. And there's an 87% failure rate in this business. It's because a lot of people don't do the work, bottom line. When I talk about the different things I've done, the door knocking, social media, and I know one of the things you talked about today is social media. Stacy asked me to point this out. You're going to see all these things like, oh, forget the cold calls, don't do those, follow my plan. These guys are sharks on social media. And, you're going to see a lot of that stuff out there. Don't fall for those traps. Stay focused on the long run. It's a grind. It's a numbers game. I know that if I talk to 100 people, that I'm going to find 1 to 2 deals. And those are, usually a year to 2 years out. If you find someone who wants to sell their home in the next 3 months and they don't have an agent, that's a diamond in the rough. Those are few and far between, so you got to focus on the long run.
On that.
That's about
So
it.
Tony, are you using RedX or one of the dialers?
I use RedX. That is my
Are y'all
primary
familiar with
source.
RedX? Okay.
Okay.
So there's different services out there. RedX is one of them, and depending on how you use the service, it gives you can buy expired, you can buy for sale by owners. There's 2 other. You can circle prospect with it. It's a service, and it just every day it updates, and it's supposed to be cleansed with the do not call list.
Exactly, and
So it's giving you your database of who to call. Is that what I'm understanding this RedX does?
Yeah, through their. So I personally, I just use GeoLeads, which is basically I can highlight an area on a map and say I want the phone numbers of these homeowners. You're going to get wrong numbers. That's part of the numbers game. You're going to get people who don't want to talk to you, of course, and that's the nature of being a telemarketer, if you will. But yeah, you can do the for sale by owners, and essentially, you know, it's $50 a month for each service, and then you can do like a multi-line dialer. That's how and then I set everybody up is on a follow-up plan. So that I stay in touch with them. I try and get their email. I do a weekly email for everyone that says, yes, you can stay in touch with me. That gives me their email address. I may not get their email address on the first call, but you know, after I start, they're like, oh yeah, I remember talking to you. Then they start warming up, realize I'm not just a one and done trying to get their business right away. They realize I actually am following up. And that's the name of the game, is the follow-up. For instance, I called a lady a number of months back. She said, yes, you can stay in touch with me. Called her 2 weeks ago for her 3-month follow-up call. This time it was like, yeah, we're actually thinking about selling next year. So it's in that follow-up that I'm like putting those leads into my database and building up that pipeline.
What was the hardest thing? Like, I know the hardest thing, I'll answer too, but when you're cold calling, what was the hardest thing to get over?
It's just the fear of people not wanting to be bothered. You know, for me, it was, I don't want to bother people, but now I realize that most people, you know, I don't want people to yell at me. You know, I don't want, what do you, and I literally, like when I say I'm 12 to 15 hours a week, I'm making 2,000 calls a week. I've had probably 2 people call me back and say, why are you calling me? Like, you know, out of all these people, you get more friendly people than you get angry people. You know,
Do you
and
get
now
people
for
just
me,
hang up on you?
I get people hang up on me, but rarely. And you know, sometimes I get halfway. You know, and you have bad. And that's the thing. I track everything now, because if I didn't track, it'd be easy to be like, oh, I'm having a bad day. Then like, I feel like I'm having a bad day, and all of a sudden I look at the numbers. I added 8 contacts to my database today, or yesterday. Or actually, yesterday I added 11. But Brad, we talked about number of contacts. I want you to add 8 contacts to your database a month. If I add 10 in one day, that's an amazing day, you know?
Yeah.
So by tracking that, it says, okay, here's the numbers, and you start seeing patterns. And I can literally say, you know, every 75 calls I make, you know, I'm getting one person to say, yes, you can stay in touch with me. You know, so if I want to get 10 to 15 contacts in my database in one day, I got to make 750 to 1,000 calls. And typically I'll do that at least one day a week. I'll spend 6 hours on the phone making calls.
I got a question for you. With the service that you're using, are these leads just generating to you, or is it just open? It's just open leads?
Anybody can do it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and then the RedX does, they do have a box for do not call us. So you can, those are automatically filtered out if you want to do that.
Have you gotten it where another agent has called before you?
Oh yeah, you know, like some people are like,
calling?
and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, with the way that I'm doing it, not a lot of people stick with it, because it is a purely numbers long-term game, and I'm focused on building my future business as opposed to the immediate now business, where if you want the more immediate now business, you're going to have to call expireds and you're going to have to call for sale by owners. And I don't want to deal with that as much, because you know that, I mean, to me, I feel like they are annoyed with realtors, you know, like, because you know, I think in California, I heard a recent survey, or not survey, but a little blurb of information. Like within 24 hours, people that have an expired home get like 300 calls in the first 24 hours in California, or something like that. Crazy numbers, you know. And people are getting calls at like 6 a.m. from realtors, you know, on expired.
That's a good way to not get business. Call somebody at 6 a.m.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to find what works for you. You know, cold calling works for me. Door knocking works for other people. Your sphere of influence works for, you know, because I don't know people. That's what I found is working the best for me, for my business.
All right. I appreciate it. Any other questions? We're good? And Tony's always around too, and he will be more than happy to.
Yeah, if you ever want to get in touch.
Did you
I have
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Had a few.
So whenever you are doing the cold calling, what is your opening script?
How I start? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Tony. I say hello. May I speak to Miss Smith? You know, and yes, this is Miss Smith. Hey, this is Tony Torch with Keller Williams. How are you today? And I do it specifically in that order, because I want to say who I am, and then I want to get them to respond with a question. All right. If they say, you know, and then it's all about tone of voice, paying attention to that. You got to read the people. It's not about what they say; it's how they say it. I can tell pretty much by their tone of voice, and if they say, "Oh, I'm great. How are you doing?" Oh, if they say, "How are you doing?" That's amazing. That's a big. That's you're moving forward. Chances are I'm going to get that number, unless they have, or that email address. They say, "I'm doing great. How are you doing?" "I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I just want to let you know this is a quick introduction call. I don't want to take up much of your time. Just calling to see if there's anything I can do to help you in the world of real estate." Most people say no. And I try and use their language so they know that I'm listening to them. They say no, not right now, and I'm saying not right now. Most people don't need anything right now. Would it be okay if I stayed in touch? That way, down the road, if you're considering making a change, I could have the opportunity to help you. From there, they say yes, they say no. I usually, if they say no, I don't really need anything, or I'm not looking for anyone to help sell my house, I will say it's not just about selling your house. Sometimes you might need a good contractor, or you might be looking to refinance. This is all the things I want to be able to help you with. It's not just about selling your home, but it's about the business relationship and being a long-term partner with you. And then sometimes that will get them to say yes. So that's pretty much it. And I say, I always thank them either way. Say, hey, thanks for taking a moment of your day to speak to me. Thanks for being friendly. Because they're hearing your name, and eventually I'm going to cold call them another year. I only call them once a year. I'll move on and buy another list next year for the same area. But after that, I don't even try a second time.
Okay. Yes.
How about texting?
I don't text. One of the coaches I listen to is Ricky Caruth, and I definitely recommend listening to him. He's a very successful agent, and real estate is about relationships, and you've got to. You will find people respond to text. Once I've established that relationship and talked to them once or twice, when I'm following up, I'll find that they're going to respond better than texting. But in that initial contact, I want it to be a voice-to-voice contact, because especially if you text when they don't know you.
It could be a computer as far as I know.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So I will text because I've done paid leads, and I don't recommend it, to be honest. That's a really long-term game. But once I've got because somebody's filled out something online to check out my site, I will text. I'll call them and text them and see which they respond to. But I'm doing both. We appreciate it. Oh, go ahead.
Real quick, print advertisement, have you ever done that? Much of that?
I've done direct mailers, but that is, from everything I've learned, is a long-term investment, and you got to stay in that area. And so for me, with my marketing, what I'm investing in, to be honest, I'm spending $1,300 a month on phone numbers. So I just, for me, it's not worth the investment to do that long-term. And I've heard, and I don't know as much about that it can take years for that to take, really get a.
We'll go over it.
And what's Ricky's last name?
I'm sorry?
Caruth.
He's
on
Ricky
Facebook.
Spell it for me, please.
Caruth. Look up
He's-
0 to
I was
Diamonds.
going to say 0 to Diamonds, his thing. It's free training.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Remax agent out of it's in Alabama.
Yeah, it's Orange Beach.
Orange Beach.
Yeah.
Alabama.
And he's pretty much how I've used the cold calling.
He does a lot of video, YouTubes on cold calling and stuff.
Mhm.
He has this thing. We got to get going because we got a lot. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes,
As a
real quick.
compliment, I love your shirt. It makes me happy. Wear more of that color.
Oh, thank you. If anybody has any other questions, just get my info from Stacy.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks for your time.
and we're going to go over a lot. Hopefully, we have time about cold calling, circle prospecting, geo leads, same type of thing, print, farming, all that stuff. Because what we're talking about is finding your business, and it's going to work, as he said, differently for everybody. One thing I wanted to add, someone I think said, do people hang up on you? People yell at you? Whatever. Well, if you've never made cold calls, it's the hardest thing to get over is thinking that you're unloved or whatever. But just if you can put this in the back of your mind, this is the easiest way to think of this. They're either part of your future, or they're not. Okay? So if they're mean on the phone, they're not part of your future, right? And it's the same with a friend. If you call a friend and say, hey, John, I just got in the real estate business. I'm so excited. Is there anybody? Eddie, I don't have time for you. Okay. I don't know anybody. They're not part of your future. You have other friends.
Right.
You know other colleagues. And that's the hardest thing to, whether you're a seasoned agent or you're a new agent, that's the hardest thing to get over. Whether it's cold calling, emailing, networking, tennis club, baby club, book, because you're spreading the word. What do you
Deborah, how you been? Oh, I'm excited. I just got back from Spain and I just started Ignite. Well, what's Ignite? Ignite's this great real estate. I'm with Keller. Wait a minute. And then you can see these blank looks. Oh, another real estate agent, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows how many real estate agents. Who knows
Since I
more?
noticed I got announced I got real estate agent friends, it was like they separated.
Right. So you're going to find those that are going to support you and those that are not. Those that support you, they're looking for your success. Those that aren't, don't stress.
jealous.
Don't stress. Just they could be jealous. They said, "Oh my God, she did what I've always wanted to do. I want to take the lead." Okay. They'll come back around maybe, but don't let that bring your energy down. Okay? All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about, if you're in your book, it's called getting your head in the game, right? Because that's what we're talking about. We always have to be in the game. So why is active lead generation important? And again, this is not one-sided, so everybody kind of help me out here. So why is...
What page are you on?
It's probably the second page, 13 maybe, under Find Your Business, the third tab. So why do we actively generate leads?
Because without leads, you don't have any business.
Okay. Anybody else? No? Relationships? Okay. Active lead generation ensures that you're going to get business, right? The quicker you get the first one over and you overcome it, the first listing appointment you go on, the first open house you do, it shows consistency. And so you want to actively every day, whether it's a mail or email, calls, whatever works for you, text, whatever works for you, you got to generate networking. Okay, you have to do it. It's feast or famine. Someone said, asking about, do other agents call? So yeah, expireds. When I'm in my mode of calling expires and someone picks up the phone and says, "You're the third agent that called me," and I'll be like, you know what? That is awesome. And they're like caught off. I'm like, because less than 1% of agents are out there trying to earn your business and call you. So I'm glad to know that there are other colleagues like myself that are trying to earn your business. Obviously, it didn't work for you the last time. What was it that happened? So you take a tight situation and you try to turn it, because it's true. Less than 1%. There's what? 2, 4, 6, 8. There's 10 of us in here. 10 of us. And expired was today. How many of y'all think you're gonna pick up the phone and call? Okay.
Not me.
All right, but you see, so less than 1% of the agents do. So you got to turn the negative in, and yes, there are. You will start seeing Lynn send out a message: "Do not call this. Do not call this. Do not call this." You know, because especially big groups, like there's some big groups in Keller Williams and outside of Keller Williams, and literally they hire agents to all they're doing all day long is they start at 6 o'clock in the morning, they meet 8 o'clock or whatever time they start, and all they do is make call. You may be on for sale by owners. You may be on expired. And
I got a ton of
boom. Okay. They're trying to drum up business, but less than 1% of agents do it. So you have to turn that in your favor if you're making the calls. Okay. So what's the difference? Kind of going back that. So what's the difference with lead generation successful agents to non-successful agents? What is the difference?
Consistency.
Consistency. It's your job every day. It's your job. It's how you run your business. Somebody said they do dance fitness, right? You know, you don't feel like getting up and leading the class. What happens? Everybody leaves and they go to another class. They go to Orange Therapy, or as you can tell, just whatever.
Where is she?
Yeah, that's right. So
Dance.
So it's how you do your business, and it's consistency. Like he said, he goes, every day he makes calls. And it doesn't work for everybody. I don't do a lot of cold calling. I don't. I do other spheres, which we'll get into. I don't do a lot of cold calling. But when I do it, okay, boom, that's my time. That's my follow-up. And you got to make it a business, part of your business plan, right? We're running a business. Nobody is going to tell you, unless you're married, what you have to do that day. Stacy's not going to tell you. Brad's not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. They'll make suggestions, but you know, and look, we just celebrated our 25th anniversary, and my wife's in the mortgage business, and she harps, did you do this? Did you do that? She's the only one I have to, well, I have my 2 kids, but it's your business. You have to decide what you're gonna do when you wake up in the morning. Are you gonna have a cup of coffee? You're gonna stay in your pajamas? You're gonna go work out? Or are you gonna make calls? Are you gonna send emails? Are you gonna go network? Okay? That's the difference between what will make you successful and the next agent. You know, so lead generation, it's our number 1 job. Everybody's seen the funnel that's on the next page, right? And like he was talking about, we start here and our goal is to get to closing, correct? Well, you're not going to get to closing right off the bat unless it's your mom or your sister or your best friend, and they come to you and say, I'm buying a house or selling a house, right? Some of y'all are getting in the business because y'all maybe a husband or a wife or whatever, significant other, is building or owns homes and flipping. Okay, you're the small minority. The rest of us got a lead, appointment, agreement, contract, close, right? If everybody got to closing table every day, there would be 3 times as many agents as there are. It's those that every day lead generation to go through it. And it's our number 1 job. So prospecting, you know, when we're talking about prospecting to get leads, right? What is, someone tell me what prospecting is.
Going out, meeting new people. It could be you letting your current people know that you're in real estate, which I've been doing, sending out texts, and I do social media as well, posts, and I've got some good feedback about that. So.
All right, anybody else? Benefits of prospecting? No? All right, so there's different ways to prospect. Tony's spending, what do you say, $1,500 a month? That's a lot of money to prospect, but it's working for him, right?
I don't know.
Well,
He only did 3 his first year, so I don't know.
$1,500.
but I'm just saying, so there's different forms of prospecting, okay? Any of y'all familiar with BNI or PowerCore? Do y'all know what BNI is? I'm a member of BNI, which is Business Network International, PowerCore. It's a closed networking group. I meet every Thursday morning, and that's one of the ways I prospect. I also prospect through Rotary, if any of y'all are familiar with Rotary. I play softball. I'm in a bowling league. That's how I prospect. You know, I do mailers. Okay, and I will go over this. That's another way to prospect. I send emails. And I do make phone calls. Don't get me wrong. I categorize my database. I have A, B, C, and D. I don't know if y'all have gone over that yet. You know, and so this week I'm working on my Bs, calling all my Bs. And I'll be done with all my Bs tomorrow, and then I'm gonna start on my Cs. Okay? And then I go back to my Bs. And everybody's like, what happened to your A's? Well, my A's already know who I am, so I don't hit them as much as my B season. Okay? A's are the ones that are giving me referrals. And I do make sure that I do Popeye. Are y'all familiar with Popeyes? Mm-hmm. No? Okay. I do Popeyes mostly with my A's and some of my B's. But I do more contacting with my B's and C's. So that's another.
What is Popeye?
Okay, all right. Stacy, do you have my mail? Would you go on Diane? Do you have my mailbox? Will you go on top of Diane's desk and there's a little mailbox?
Yeah.
Would you bring that in?
You sound like me.
Okay, no. If I say something seriously, if I say something you don't know, ask, because I should know that you don't know, and sometimes
What are your
I forget.
A's and the B's and the C's? I don't know that.
Okay, so A's, I divide my contacts. So what you need to be doing, working on especially right now, is how many contacts do you have in your database? Do you know?
I think it's 200.
Okay, so you have 200 contacts. Out of those 200 contacts, how many of those people do you know that if I was looking for a house, the first person to think of when I'm out at a function, a school function, and they said, oh, Eddie, we're thinking about moving. You know what? You need to call Deborah.
Probably 5, because
Okay.
they all know 11 real estate agents each.
Okay, no, but okay, that's okay. So there's your 5 A's.
Okay.
Okay, your B's. How many people would refer you? You know, you need to call Deborah. It may not be the first top of mind, but you know that they're going to give you a chance. Is your B's.
C's are people you're really working on, okay? C's are the people you met, you said your kids are older, right?
Yeah.
So, you tennis or whatever, neighborhood swim, whatever. Those are your C's that kind of know what you're doing, but you're not top of mind. And there's another category D, but I don't go into that because if they below D, C, I ain't even gonna, they're just maybe get emails and I don't, whatever. So that's how I split them up. A, B, C. A is that if they're at a holiday party and somebody comes up to them and says, oh, we're thinking about buying a house, or we're thinking about selling our house, or we're thinking about remodeling a house, you need to call Eddie. That's my A's. B's, if we're thinking about buying a house, it may take a little while. Oh, you know what? You ought to call Eddie. C's, it's going to take a while. Goal is to put C's to B's, B's to A. Okay, so Popeyes. So this is my wife's old card, so I can't put that on there. So for Valentine's Day, I went and I go to the dollar store, and these are $1. And then I fill them up with candy in my card, and I take them to the house, and I ring the doorbell if they're home. I give them to them. If they're not home, take a picture in front of their house, and I text it to them saying, Happy Valentine's Day, I left.
These are your A's?
Yeah, A's and B's. Or somebody I may have just met.
Okay.
Maybe I want to try to make that
You're comfortable enough to do it with. Yeah.
It just really depends.
Yeah.
For Father's Day, I took a spatch. What's it when you clean the grill? The scrapers. Mm-hmm. So Costco had a great deal on them, and I think they cost me $7. Bought 20 of them, and I took those to fathers that were my A's and B's. Mother's Day, I had my kids make me go out, and they bought what they call bath salts or whatever. I did bath bomb, a scented candle, and a little shot glass as a joke, saying, before you go relax, take a shot.
That's no joke.
and the shot glass was $1 at the dollar store. The bomb was the most expensive. I don't remember what that was. And I took those to the moms.
Very clever.
This year, so we do a derby party, and I invite my clients, all my past clients. All my past clients better be an A. They're A or B, right? So all my clients I invited, and I invited friends, my B contacts, and some of my C's I'm trying to do business with. We have a derby party at the house. And then Thanksgiving, we do my wife makes pies. And so you come to the house and bring me some cans, and I give you a pie.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so that's not really a Popeye that coming to me, but because pies are a little hard to. So,
That's really cool.
and then I would be, if I'm out driving around, like the other day I was out driving around, and a client of mine's office was right there, so I quickly pulled into Trader Joe's. There happened to be a Trader Joe's there, and orchids are like $5.99 for an orchid thing, And so I went and just knocked on her door. She wasn't expecting me. She wasn't there. I didn't know she was there or not. I just knew where she worked. She wasn't there. Well, one of the other ladies was like, "Who are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm her real estate agent." I'm her real estate agent, and I was in the area, and I thought of her, and I just thought a flower might brighten her day. And she's like, "Oh my God, I bought a house a year ago, and I haven't heard from my agent." She goes, "But didn't she buy a house 2 years ago?" I said, "Yeah, it's almost 3." And she's like, "And you still stay in touch?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Can I have an orchid?" I said, "Let me have your card. I'll put you on my email list next time I'm in the area. I'll bring you an orchid."
Right. So I
She
think
just-
it's-
she
I
just
think
bought-
it's worked well
she-
for you, so you keep doing it.
She just bought a house. But you know what she's going to tell?
She's gonna refer.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, that's prospecting. A different way. Myth. Prospecting. People think if you're prospecting, you're doing blah, 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 blah. Did y'all catch that? Okay. People think when in your mind, you think, oh, if I'm prospecting, I'm annoying people and I don't want to have rejection, right? Right? So let me tell you a trick to get over that really quick. Prospect the people you know. People that you know won't say no to you. even if they're not buying a house. Because the key is they're not buying a house, but you want them to have you top of mind. So when they're playing tennis, they're at book club, they're at daycare, whatever, they remember you, okay? Then you start prospecting people that are gonna say no and the rejection is not as bad, okay? Meeting people, building business relationships. It's all about us as building relationships and sharing. All right, let's see, a couple of y'all said y'all do remodeling, right? So in your remodeling database, who do you know? You know a plumber, right? You know an HVAC guy, a landscaper, right? A roofer. And you need, and we're gonna go over that today, you need to have these people, because what you want is, like I said, is you're not buying a house, right? You've already bought the house, but you're at the party and someone says, all this, I need a roofer. You know what? Call Eddie. Well, whose roofing company he's with? He's not. He's my real estate agent. Why am I calling him? He's got a roofer. So Deborah picks up the phone. Eddie, I was told that you knew a roofer. Great. How did you get my name? John gave me a name. Oh, God, John, well, how much fun we're at this. So are you looking to sell or buy a house, or you just need here are two people, two roofers. Give them a call. If you have any problems, please let me know. You know, great. Pick up the phone. Hey, Doreen, Deborah's calling you. She's going to have a roof inspection. I just want you to have a name when she calls you. So now the roofer remembers you. So when Deborah calls Doreen, hey, Deborah, I've been expecting your call. Oh my God, how nice is that, right? You and I had never met. You were referred to me. I went that extra step, and I just gave you a name, but made sure that that person is expected. Now, if it's a big company, they're going to have a call base. It may not work. But if you can get that relationship one-on-one, and you know that that roofer is going to call them personally, you want to get to that roofer first. So it takes that little step ahead, if that makes sense. All right, any questions about prospecting? And I know I'm rushing, but we kind of got over, a little later than I wanted to. Any questions? So, all right, so now we're going to talk about the 4 C's of prospecting. Who knows what the 4 C's are? Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, everyone. Hi. I'm Amber.
Hey, Amber.
Sorry for interrupting, just passing through.
Hey, you're fine. Welcome. Who knows what the 4 C's are? Oh, come on, they're right in front of you. They're right in front of you.
Capture, close,
connect, cultivate? I don't know.
Right. So, the 4 C's. Okay. And I'm going to say this again. The 4 C's. So what does that stand for?
The 4 C's. It starts with a C.
Well, that and it's on the tab multiple times.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So, you first capture someone's lead by getting their contact information, right? Capture may be just an email. Capture may be a phone number. Capture may be an email and a phone number. It may just be a, just the husband, however you capture it, we're capturing that data, okay? That you have to, if you don't have their data, what? You can't connect. What's connecting? Right there in front of you, somebody.
Establish a relationship.
Thank you. Okay, so now we've captured their data. Deborah and I captured each other's data. She's not looking to sell her house, right? She just needed a roofer, but I've captured her data. So now we're going to connect, whether it's through an email or the follow-up call is, hey, Deborah, I just want to follow up, make sure those roofers followed up with you. Everything worked out okay? I really want to know because I refer business to them, and if they're not giving you the customer service that I'm expecting that I give my clients, I need to know.
What system are you using to send out your emails? Are you just using eEdge, or do you have another system that you use?
I'm using eEdge, and then I'll switch over to Command eventually, but eEdge. So, so now I'm connecting, right? Has nothing to do with buying a house, right? I'm establishing myself as the expert, the go-to.
She never put the pages in my book.
You don't have the...
No, I'll tell her. She hasn't. I think she was adding pages.
It's the 3rd tab.
Oh, Jesus.
Right there.
It's far back. Thank
Okay,
you.
so the next thing is we're going to connect, whether it's a phone call, email, whatever, however that connection is. And when you're making your database, when you're working on your database, you're gonna have names, address, email, birthday, anniversary, and what Command is calling tags, and y'all will get into that. What is a tag? This is real good about connecting. What's a tag? Does anybody know?
Online?
Okay, so, and it's not in here. You're not gonna, so a tag, the way they're gonna put it in Command, and Stacy will go over that. So I play softball, so I have my tag with a lot of guys is softball. So I know how I met them. It may be softball, it may be fantasy football, it may be cooking, it may be pet lover, it may be horse lover. However you want to split the tag up, right? Tennis, dance, flight attendant, okay? That's a connection, right? I'm not calling Deborah to talk about softball if she's into cooking, right? Because she's gonna be like, why the hell are you calling me? I'm not sending the Masters update because she hates golf. But she loves dogs, she loves cooking. Did you hear about the Dunwoody Restaurant Festival coming up? It's a tag, it's a touch, it's a connection. That's the next step. So when you're getting their information, you want to find out as much as you can. And one of the best things about that is this little thing that I personally am terrible at, but I go on it every day. Does anybody know what that is? What does everybody go on every day?
Facebook.
Right. Facebook will tell you what? Their birthday most of the time. Most of the time will tell you if they're going on a vacation because they like to put the pictures up. If they have a dog, if they have a cat, if they got a horse, if they won the Alta tournament, if they won, just if they had a child, if they had a grandchild, whatever the case may be. So, look up Deborah Hughes. Oh, she just won the pickle tournament. What? Make that your tag. So when you go to connect, you're sending relevant information. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What's the close? Closing is making an appointment, okay? Your goal as agents after you connect and close is to make an appointment, to sit down with them, make it personable, okay? Now it's a face-to-face. It's humanizing the connection. And yes, ma'am.
So I just had someone call me when I left out about a house from a referral from my babysitter from childhood. She's raised majority of my kids when I was working. And I told her that I would, talk to her and send her a list of things to look at. Should I ask her to see her afterwards to make, for us to meet up after the fact or before it?
Before.
Before it. Okay.
Right. And one of the things y'all will go over that you hadn't gone over, if you need it, we'll get it for you, is if you can get it, every agent, and they'll deny it, and I will be the first to tell you, I've done it, I hate it, I've done it again, even though I've told myself, never, ever, ever put a person in your car or show them property without
No, buyer's
vetting, absolutely, but a buyer's agreement.
Okay.
Okay, and the second thing besides a buyer's agreement is
Pre-approval?
pre-approval. Because you're gonna, when you talk to somebody, a new person, and they say, I wanna see homes in Alpharetta between 425 and 500. If you were to do a quick search on FMLS on homes 3 bedrooms or more between 425 and 500, how many do you think are gonna pull up right now? Not that many.
A couple hundred.
262, and y'all asked me how I did that because I did a search last night for a client. There's 262 homes in the Alpharetta area currently between 425 and 500 with a basement. I forgot to clarify that. With a basement and 3 or more bedrooms. Okay? If I was to send that list to my client, what would happen? She'd be overwhelmed. So you want to meet with them. You want to learn about them. You want to make sure.
Meet with her first?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you want to have a buyer's questionnaire. And I always send my buyers a questionnaire before I meet with them.
Okay.
I promise you, majority of people, and I haven't sold one damn house, but I'm saying this from experience of being older, don't know as much as you think, and they need their hands held more than you think.
I need to make sure I ask Stacy about the buyer's agreement form.
Right.
I need. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, because and I've done it. I
I've done it, and then I yell at myself, and I've done it again, and I yell at myself. Do not put person in
You
your
haven't
car.
created a relationship? Is that why?
No,
Is that it has to be?
we created a relationship somehow. They called me or I called them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
but they thought we went and saw $400,000 homes.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, they're pre-qualified for $250.
Yeah. I asked
Or-
for a price range.
Right, but they don't know what their price range is. Or, that's even worse, they can't buy a house.
There you go.
So are you doing pre-qualified or pre-approval? There's a big difference.
There is a difference. It depends on which mortgage person you're working with. And, you know, if you're working with my wife, she's going to try to do as much as she can to get a pre-approval.
Right.
But if it's somebody you just met and you just want to kind of feel them out, maybe not she'll just kind of do a pre-approval. And all of them will. Certainty over here, they ask the right questions. Because you're wasting your time. And we've all done it. And if there's an agent here that says they haven't done it, they lied to you. Yes?
Also, I just like to personally shoot for the pre-approval, just because when you're making an offer, it looks like a more qualified buyer. Nobody wants to, go under contract with someone who's just pre-qualified.
I
Right.
did ask her that.
But a pre-approval is a few steps more. And most lenders nowadays all shoot for that because they don't want to waste their time either. So
Well, your buyer should want that.
if they understand, most buyers, like you said, because they get on the internet and they know everything. They know what house, they know the size, they know they know everything. Okay? And they don't realize what steps are involved, and you have to educate them. And that's why you meet with them first.
I just asked her, I was like, is she pre-approved? Is she pre-approved? She said she didn't know, so I told her, well, I definitely have a couple of contacts I can refer you to.
And what's the number one thing if someone says, I've been pre-approved, and you ask them what? What's
Send a letter.
Send a letter?
who?
By
Did you
who?
get on the internet and you typed in information
Or did
and
you go to a-
this company said, you're pre-approved? Okay, you can work with whoever you want, but I will tell you with experience, you want to work with somebody local that you can walk into the office and scream at them when they screw up. Because they will screw up. And you will, so local is, to me, always better. If I'm looking at an offer and it's by Santa Fe Bank or whatever, and I'm looking at another one and it is Certainty Home Loans that's local, and this one may be a little bit better, and I've talked to the agent, well, how'd you find this? Oh, my client found them, right? I'm going to say, I'll go to my sellers and say, this one's a little bit higher. This is someone local. They know reputation. I will push. I just had this happen. We went under contract, and the agent said to me two things. She said, y'all weren't the highest offer, but you're a Keller Williams agent. They were a Keller Williams agent in a different office, and your mortgage person is local. It makes a difference. It really does, and it's about relationships. Okay, so then we're going to cultivate, because I got to speed up. We're going to cultivate, we're going to strengthen that relationship, we're going to have coffee, we're going to have wine, and you want to do that. And your A's, as I said, however you split them up, your A's you may not, when you're first getting started, you're going to do a lot more with your A's, obviously, because those are going to be your referral source. B's, C's, but you got to hit everybody, right? And you will figure out over time how often you have to hit all of them. Everybody that's on my database, from the A's to, if you want to call them the F's, people that I've just met, and they get an email, they get a newsletter once a month. Okay? My A's will get a magazine quarterly, and this is not, my A's, my B's and A's, B's and my B's and C's get some type of mailer, letter, or something like that. And I alternate, like, what they're getting. And then when I'm farming, and which we'll get into in a little bit later, they get something every month, paper and email. So it's all about prospecting. But remember the 4 C's: capture, connect, close, and
Cultivate.
oh my goodness, y'all are awake. Hot diggity dog. All right, so we're going to kind of skip over to was it page 21 in your book, because we kind of went about everything, talked about your sphere of influence. Excuse me one second. What is sphere of influence?
I said that a lot.
What'd you say?
Tony said that a lot.
Yeah.
you
What
know.
is it?
Who you reach, who you affect, your circle.
Your
Your
circle,
your
your
sphere.
sphere of influence. Your circle. People who trust you, people who want that to do business with you, who want to see you successful, right? So that's why I said we're all going to have rejection, right? That's the thing. So when you want to slowly get over your rejection a little bit earlier, prospect with the people you know that love you, or you think they love you, right? They're not going to turn you down as fast as somebody else. You still got to go after these other people, but it kind of builds you up. Your sphere of influence are your A's and your B's. It's your roofer, your mortgage company, your doctor. A bunch of people said they had dogs in here, right? Vets. Those people that your neighbors. How many of y'all live in an HOA? Okay, a couple of, your HOA. It's a great way to prospect your neighbors. They want to do business with you. Let's do this. How many people, Sherry, how many people do you know?
She knows a
I
lot of
mean,
people.
no,
How many people do you know?
thousands.
Thousands, okay. Erica?
About 500.
About 500?
About
Here in this area.
About 500?
3. I know.
3? Okay.
Just kidding. Just kidding. A few hundred. I know.
Okay. Now, I'm not talking about just people on LinkedIn that says you have all these people, but people you know, right? The average is about 150. We know about 150 people that know us, right? That's kind of your sphere, in a sense. You're going to break it down and make it smaller, but
Is that your Christmas card list?
yeah,
Yeah.
your Christmas card list, that's a good place to narrow down your search or increase your search. It may be 50. It may be 10. I can guarantee it's more than 10. But that's what you're looking for, is that sphere. Your friends, your spouse, your partner, your spouse's insignificant others. What groups do they belong to? That's, what can you do? What can they do? Introduce you. That's your sphere. If you're religious, your priest, your rabbi, your pastor. If you're involved in PTA, the principal. Golly, if you still have young kids, and you haven't gotten, I wish I had done this when my kids were young. God, if you can get in with those schools and be active, what are they called, helicopter parents? As crazy it is, they know everybody and everything going on. That's a good sphere of influence. Okay, immediate family. So right now, everybody got a piece of paper, a pen, blah, blah, blah. We're going to take a few minutes real quick. I want you to write down your sphere. And if you look on that page, what is it, page 22? There's little boxes to kind of help you out. So we're going to take a few minutes, write down as many people as you can. This is just kind of jog your memory. There's a little book. In the book you see different categories. Your family, your teachers, all of that. So everybody start writing, and we'll go from there. And then we're going to have we'll see how everybody did.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Are these people that we know or people that we think is going to purchase real estate?
No, these are people you know.
Just anybody we know.
This is people that know you and trust you and love you and want to see you succeed.
Okay.
This is not Eddie the mechanic down the street that you met at Jiffy Lube to get your oil changed. That's going to be a different thing we're going to do called a memory jogger. Take another minute real quick. All right, why don't we, y'all keep working. If you want to take a quick 2 or 3 minute break, go ahead and do that right now, and then we'll go over this. Stacy's going to come in probably when we get back to take a picture to get ready for our social media thing, and then we'll go over this and a couple other things. Anybody have any questions? Let me know.
So you said I need to buy your
I'm sorry?
questionnaire form. That's what you said.
That's a start. Yes.
Okay.
And then you want to buy a buyer's agreement.
Agreement, yeah.
My name is familiar.
Buyer's agreement.
The JCC.
And
The
questionnaire.
JCC or the DCC?
JCC.
And question-
Not the DCC.
What's the DCC?
Don't think.
Referral from.
No, we play golf and play out at the pool and take
Caroline.
on. But,
Oh, yeah, I see your name everywhere.
that'd be good.
It's August 1st, is it? Oh my God. Lord, I can't wait until these kids go back to school.
My kids can't wait to leave the house.
I mean,
So
I
I
can't.
would suggest, okay, so my situation is, I have a few listing opportunities, but I am like, so there are gonna be buyers too.
Right, because typically when you get a listing, you get a buyer.
Right, so I have a good friend who wants to buy first. She's super qualified. I mean, she's got an $800,000 home in Tuxford. So she wants to find something first.
That's nice to hear.
But for like a listing appointment for me, I have.
So the best thing to do is pair up with an agent.
Okay.
You're going to give up part of your commission. I mean, but you learn by watching,
Of course.
and you learn the technique. So if you have an agent that brought you in, and you feel comfortable, and they're willing to do it. If not, I'll be happy to help you. I mean, that's the best way to learn. Stacey and I have been talking for a while, trying to figure out how to start a mentor program. I don't know if Bjorn, who joined our group, that's really what he needed. He needed someone to hold his hand, just like you're holding your client's hand.
Yeah.
He needed, and so he came under us, and so we went on this listing appointment until he understood and we want to help him find until he's comfortable.
Right, and I was thinking that, but I don't want to put anybody out, or because we all kind of do our own thing, I didn't know how responsive agents were to that sort of
Again,
thing.
it just depends on the agent, how busy they are, or how not busy they are. There's some agents, and one of the things I love about the reason I came to Keller Williams and really came to this office, I went to a bunch of them, was you can walk in this whole office and everybody's willing to stop, listen, give you suggestions. I mean, there's any business or organization you go to, you're always going to have a few that they don't want to be bothered, and you know who those are, and you really don't see them here. They don't come into the office. Okay. Besides that, I can't think of anybody that has an office or comes to the bullpen that won't stop, answer the question, or say, I don't know the answer. Go ask Stacy. I don't know. I mean, like Stacy, because I did property management for so many years. Stacy, Felicia, and Diane, first thing they said was go see Eddie and Sam. So I stop what I'm doing and help them out. You know, that's just how my nature. So whoever brought you in, if they don't have the time, you go to Stacy, you come to me, you know, and the way we do it typically, and everybody's different.
That door stays locked, you can't walk back in to it.
You can unlock it. Oh, push it
Okay,
open, push the button.
Yeah, I know, but if you put this somebody,
Yeah.
Oh, smart.
So push the.
I just had to walk all the way around when I put that lock out.
That's the best way to really learn. And plus, even if it's your best friend, right? You can go and say, look, thank you for the opportunity. I just want you to know that I'm teaming up. So there was another agent that I started night with, and she got a referral from her hairdresser. And she called the referral, and the referral was like, you don't have that experience. It was,
everything links up to your real estate license.
So she called me and she said, will you help me out?
No, you don't have to put it, as soon as you put in whatever in FMLS,
walk through everything.
everything should link up. Have you already been to the orientation?
No, I haven't.
She took any update? No, this was
just
doing
recently
going
got
to
the
this
license,
date.
right?
And she was like, okay, I'm gonna be there. So she just chatted. We walked the house. We just,
Wow, okay.
She is in a very fortunate situation that she doesn't have to sell. She has another house in
Well, no, not
College
really.
Park, where she's living at. She moved to College Park because her kids go to Woodward. And she thought she would be there just during the week and then come home, and she's turned out they love College Park.
Oh, that's cool.
So it will sell eventually. So we're working together. We have a commission split agreement. She, I normally stays in contact because she doesn't want to, which I think is wrong. But that was her choice. So there's ways to work it. But you're going and saying, look, thank you for the opportunity. I'm working with, and they have.
Did you, what group did you go to at first?
Yeah, okay, great.
What does my husband have to normally look like?
It just depends on the.
I got you.
She's the one that convinced me.
Right, it depends on what.
It was a great
I mean, there's some agents I've heard as high as 75 and there's some as low as 25. It just,
That's the reason
again,
why I
it
came
depends on
here
the
is
agent,
because
what the
of
time
their
involved.
training curriculum.
Yeah.
Really, because,
You know,
yeah, you can go different other places.
What it's gonna
and probably
be.
make more.
in your relationship, I guess, with that person, I don't know. I've never charged them a contract. And typically what I do is like.
I
someone comes to me
feel
and says,
exactly the same.
What do you think? And we work it out. Yeah, they may say 50%, I'm like, okay, but I think it really should be this, or they may say it's 5%, I say, no, it should be this. So, you know, in the higher price listings, there's more upfront money involved, there's more time, and so. Okay, all right, so everybody back?
Can I ask you a simple question?
Yeah.
How did you get past, well, this may not be simple, but how did you get past, why would I use you? You have not even sold one house, you're a brand new real estate agent.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell anybody.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Just say I'm in the,
So ask me the question.
Or you can let them know you have a team.
So ask me the question.
Why would I use you? You're brand new.
how many houses have you sold, Eddie?
Deborah, that's a great question. How many houses I've sold? I've sold 2 already. 2 this year. But let me tell you a little bit about my team. and what
Did
I've
you
worked
really?
with. No, because you're asking me.
Oh, like, no, I'm saying,
So a brand new team.
as a brand new agent like we are.
Okay, so you can, so.
Not on team, I'll just
Hey,
here.
I'm gonna play. So, hey Deborah, I hear you're looking to sell your house. I'd love the opportunity to show you about my team and what I do and how I can sell your house. And then the question is,
Who's your team?
How many houses have you sold?
Uh-huh.
I haven't sold any, Deborah. But what's that an advantage for? Well, I'm hungry. I'm going to bend over backwards for
I have the
you.
time.
I have plenty of time, and I have a staff and a support team around me. One of the things that I'm very proud of and why I chose Keller Williams is not only Keller Williams
but the Rawls group in Keller Williams. Y'all know the difference, right?
Yes.
I don't.
You
No,
don't.
I don't know how it works.
Okay, so the Rawls group is made up of 6 offices.
Okay.
Okay, each Keller Williams is a franchise, right? So
Rawls owns 6.
Rawls owns 6 in Atlanta.
And we're a Rawls?
We're a Rawls group.
Okay.
Okay. And the Rawls group, what sets us apart, and part of the thing is, they also bring in an economist every quarter to help us really narrow down. So when you're seeing on the news, home sales are this, home sales are this, that's the whole country. We bring it down to a local level. So I'm able to show you, and you'll learn this as you time, during your presentation, things. I can help narrow down those numbers as the exact numbers to really make it.
Didn't they put down the interest rate just recently?
It went down yesterday, but
Yes.
the lenders were already expecting it, so you're not going to see
okay.
that. One of the things that I always carry, and I'm going to hand this out to y'all, is so as part of the Rawls group, there's 6 of us, right? So the top 25 residential companies, we're number 1. 6 offices. Have you heard of Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah.
Have you heard of Harry Norman? What do you think of Harry Norman?
Don't know much.
You don't know much? What about Berkshire Hathaway? You heard of Berkshire Hathaway?
Heard of them.
Right, they're big, aren't they? They're big, no?
Yeah.
Coldwell
Yeah.
Banker? Who, if it comes to, this is you're being the sale, you're
Oh.
the So if I asked you, who comes to mind as the number 1 sales company in Atlanta? What's the number 1 name that you thought of besides Keller Williams?
Century 21.
Century
Karen
20.
Cannon.
Karen Cannon.
Century 21, right? And Century 21
I've seen her
is
pictures.
part of the largest owned
Robin Bliss.
blast.
Blast.
So group, right?
Spain for sure.
So, well, Mark
Century
Spain,
21's what?
Century 21's not in the top 25.
Karen Cannon.
Karen Cannon's not in the top 25. Mark Spain, take that back. Century 21's number 21. Isn't that funny? I don't know.
I never said Century.
Mark Spain is number 18, but guess who's number 1?
Yes.
The Rawls Group.
And in this office?
We're part of this office.
Yeah.
There's 6 of us. So there are 6 offices, and we did 4.83 billion in transactions. The next group was at Keller Williams office who did 4.2. Berkshire Hathaway, which owns every Berkshire Hathaway in Atlanta, 21 offices. Okay, we have 6. They have 21. They only did 4 billion. The next group, number 4, Keller Williams. Harry Norman. Everybody's heard of Harry Norman, right? That's also a large, Sotheby's, a large grouping, right? They only did 2.8 billion, and they got 14 offices. So you incorporate this into your presentation, okay?
And we're going to learn more about Rawls and all that.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm going to pass this all
I'd love to see it.
out to everybody to make sure they have it. Thank you. Okay, so real quickly, sphere of influence. How many people? Who's got more than 5? Who's got more than 5? Who's got less? All right, let's start this. Who's got less than 5 on their sphere of influence sheet? Who has 5? Who has 10? Nobody's raising their hand. You have nobody on your sphere of influence sheet?
Oh,
Yeah.
I got
All right.
I'm 80.
You have how many? 80.
You wrote them down.
Okay.
I just have them right here, just like my close
Okay.
people.
All right.
That's exactly.
What's the 10? 110? Everybody raise your hand. All right, everybody put their hands up. Okay, everybody put your hands up. If you have less than 10, put your hand down. If you have less than 10, we're going to work on your sphere of influence. If you have less than 20,
I've
You're
been
less than 20.
antisocial my whole life, so.
you've been what?
I've been antisocial.
It doesn't matter. You'll be surprised when we do this. So less than 20, and then everybody else is 20 or more, right? That's a really good start, and you and I are gonna sit and talk a little bit about your sphere of influence. And you're gonna be surprised that you didn't think of people that you thought. We're gonna do a thing called memory jogger. It's really gonna jog your mind and help you grow it.
I
Sphere-
have almost 200 contacts.
See, so I bet you have more than 10. You just weren't, your brain wasn't moving in the right direction. But we'll get that. So, sphere of influence is very important because those are people that want to do business with you, they just don't know it, right? They love you, but they want to do business, they want to see you succeed. The question is, how do you take that sphere of influence and make your name? It goes back to the 4 C's, right? Which are?
Capture,
Cultivate.
capture, connect, close, and cultivate.
Right. So that's where you're going to start focusing on your sphere of influence. You're going to start cultivating that group. You're going to capture that group. You're going to make them yours, right? Somebody mentioned Robin Blass. Somebody mentioned Deborah Cannon, right? You go to Kroger's. If these are for people that live in Dunwoody, you see their name everywhere, right? Robin Blass is one of the top Coldwell Banker agents.
Jan Brownfield and Rocky.
Yeah, they're in the same office.
Are they?
Yeah, they're in the same office as, Robin Blass has been in Dunwoody since Dunwoody, she's not that old, but basically since Dunwoody was formed is the joke. She's worked with a lot of the builders in the area. Her name is everywhere. And if anybody, does anybody know her personally?
No, I've met her a couple times. Just
all right, she's and I can say this from experience because I've worked with her. She's a bitch, and she is a tough,
brutal to work with.
She is a tough negotiator, and she's, okay?
I bought one of her
She's
houses.
just not friendly.
Yeah.
Okay?
Wow.
She's not at all.
She's a snake.
Then why do people deal with her if she's not?
It's
good at what she does?
It's name. She's great at what she does.
Great.
Yeah.
That's
But
great.
it's name recognition.
Oh.
It's name recognition.
She's branded herself.
Very
Totally
well.
branded herself.
Wow.
Right. I mean,
So people's perception is, look how many houses she sells. Her name's everywhere. She's got to be good.
right. Mark Spain. Okay, you can't go anywhere without hearing an ad, seeing an ad. Right.
Wow.
He's built a fortune. He had a lot of money behind him, and he has built a great name and a brand. Right. But if you call Mark Spain, you're not talking to Mark Spain. And one of the things that you learn and you teach your clients in your sphere is, I'm not pushing you off. I am there. I'm building it. I'm the one doing it. Okay? Set yourself apart, however it may be.
And you know, when you say that too, like Robin Blass, I've been to a couple of her open houses here and there, and she's always there. Even as busy as she is and how bully as she is, she's always there.
Yeah, she has her daughter works for her. She has other agents, but let me tell you, that she's built a great brand, and to be on the other side of her is not
She's being
fun.
a bitch for her
Client.
sellers.
Oh, yeah,
her
it's just her,
clients.
yeah.
So she's
Oh,
not
yeah.
being a bitch to
Just
her
her
clients.
No.
It's
It's just her
everywhere.
demeanor. She gets the job done. You cannot knock it, okay, at all. I mean, and there's in every, if you go to East Cobb, there's agents that are, in every area you go to, you're going to have those one or two agents that really. But we're talking about, she built it from her sphere of influence. She built it from the people she knows. And if you're going up against her, you better have your A game on, right?
I definitely want to be that. With
So,
grace.
no, I'm not saying, I don't know how she treats her clients. I can't answer that. But I can tell you she looks out for them.
Negotiation.
She's hard negotiation. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is time blocking. Who knows what time blocking is?
Taking the time, block it out, and do it.
Right. So what are the three main things of time blocking?
Prepare, take action, maintain.
Okay.
You just leave it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad, y'all. I'm so glad.
It must be on the paper somewhere.
Sherry doesn't know.
So if I was to say we're gonna do lead generation right now and make phone calls, who would be prepared? Who would have a list of people to call?
Got a list of call. What to say is this?
Yeah, we should say, right.
Well, we're gonna talk about, if we have time.
Scripts.
We're gonna talk about that, because scripts are very important, and practicing scripts is even more important.
It's on the Keller Williams website. I have to download it. They have like a whole bunch of scripts. KW.com. If you go to their thing.
She showed us on
So,
Monday.
all right, so the best thing to do, and it took me a while to get more prepared. So, on a good day, and I'm being as honest as I can, I'm not going to say this, I will have a list of who I'm going to call the next day. And not only do I have a list of what I'm going to call, but little notes about maybe what I'm going to say. So last week I was calling people that kids were going off to school for the first time. So when I would call and say, look, I hope you got your backpacks ready, I hope you got this, I hope you got your bottle of wine ready. And then I would joke and say, look, 8:30 is not too early to have a first cup. They're a way to celebrate. But it was just a way to talk. I wasn't, and then I would say, look, by the way, if you know anybody that happens to be interested in buying and selling real estate, would you please keep me in mind? I know you're going to see a lot of parents.
would you just please try to remember to keep me top of mind? Okay? That's, so I had prepared who I was going to call. I set it aside. One of the hardest things that I had to get used to is I'm making calls from 9 to 11 or 9 to 10 or whatever the time frame is. Not to answer my phone, not to answer the text, not to email. Pick up the phone call, pick up the phone call, pick up the phone call. Now, the hardest thing to get used to doing is keeping it short and brief. So, Erica, you have kids?
Yeah.
Yours were older, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Pretend like they're younger. Okay. Erica, how are you?
Good. How
Good.
are you?
I'm great. I'm so excited. I know you are. Kids are going back to school. You excited?
Yes
Nervous?
and no.
Oh, look, we have a party at 8:15 tomorrow morning. As soon as that bus popping over the champagne, we're gonna excite. But I hope the kids are well. And I really don't want to take much of your time up. But just make sure they have their backpacks. And if you need a tutor for any of the kids, just keep me in mind. And by the way, if you know anybody that's thinking about selling, because I know you're going to be talking to anybody, would you keep me in mind? Keep it short. Try to keep it short. So then if Erica starts saying, well, how are your kids? How is this? Because that's what you want to avoid is that 30-minute phone call, right? Because you can't go to the next person, right? So when Erica starts asking me, because we know each other personally, like, how are your kids? How is it? Erica, look, I'd love to catch up. When can we have coffee?
When can we do coffee?
Yeah.
Next week?
Right, after you drop off the kids? Perfect. Wednesday at Starbucks at Dunwoody Village, will that work for you?
Yep.
What time? 8:30? You think you can get there by 8:30?
No.
What time?
Maybe 10-ish.
10-ish? Perfect. I will see you at 10 o'clock, and we'll catch up then. Boom. So now what have we done?
Oh,
Connect.
Cultivate. And I kept it short because now I can go and call Tiffany. I can go call Sherry. I can go whoever, right? It took me forever, ever, and ever how to cut them off.
Yeah.
Maintain control. And don't.
Do the voicemail. Get the voicemail.
There's programs, if y'all want to know about them. You've seen it come up. You've seen the phone number, and you're like, oh, and then it goes right to what? Voicemail. It's a free service.
I did one this morning, like just on my way to work. I thought I would do a couple calls,
Mm-hmm.
and I did it to a friend of mine that I work with at the gym. And I know that she wants to eventually move to Florida. She's got children that are grown that live there now, and she's in the past have talked to me. We're close, not very close, but she's in my sphere. And she teaches with me, so I just called her and left her a message and just said, hey, I didn't see your name on, our schedule, our fitness schedule, and I miss you. I want to take your class. And then I said, oh, and also I'm going back to work, so I'm not, I'm going back to work and I'm selling houses and I'm not teaching right now. So I want to get to one of your classes, and I wanted to see if you had. So she has all these contacts. She's like a big BTI. Is it BMI, BTI, BNI?
BNI.
What is it?
BNI.
She's a big BNI girl. So I was like, I need a mover. I just said it. I don't need a rover. I was like, and I know you know a lot of contacts, and I've got someone in your area that's moving. So can you call me back with that? Because she loves when I ask her for contacts. So I kind of skirted around the fact that I was called.
Right.
That's my. I've told them this before, that's my problem. I don't have the nerve to be like, oh, I just wanted to let you know that I'm a real estate agent now, and if you have any contacts, let me know. So I'm always trying to find a passive way to get around it.
Right. Okay, but because you want to be, she knows everybody, right?
She knows everybody, and she's also going to sell her house in like a year, so
Okay.
I want
So
her.
what can you do for two things for her? What are the two things you can help her with?
Bringing her people.
Okay, but she's going to sell her house, and she's where? Moving to Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what can you do for her in Florida?
Refer her.
Don't know anybody there.
Refer her.
Get that 5%.
Connect
You're
her with
gonna
them.
go ahead
And
and
actually, I
say
couldn't, because she's moving to my old hometown, so I
she's
don't
going. You know what? Look, I know you're moving to Destin, wherever. I'm just using Destin. I'd love to vet some agents for you so you don't waste your time. Tell me what's important to you in an agent. Okay? Now you started the conversation, right? You're offering to help her. You're not asking for anything, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then with Kelly, you can say, okay, Kelly, give me the top agents in Destin. Give me okay, well, she doesn't want a team, right? So when you pick up the phone, Eddie, I got you off of Kelly, blah, blah, blah. You know, you're in Destin. How do you work with buyers? Well, I have a buyer's agent, or I do everything personally. Just, you know, when you go into the Rawls group, and if there's different groups you can put in there. Who's the best agent in Destin? Who's the best, reload? And you're vetting it for her. Say, look, I'm going to do the legwork for you. Bless you. So now you're offering a service.
Okay, that's awesome. I like that.
Always come from a position of giving
Oh, yeah.
any way you can, and that's a great way to build a relationship. So if you find out what their needs are, roofer, mover, landscaper, orthodontic, and you want people to understand you're a real estate agent, but you're more than a real estate agent, right? You want to be their go-to person.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue, I don't know, whatever it is, food, you want to be their go-to. And that builds the relationship. All right, so preparing, obviously, you're going to prepare your list. If you do it the day before, the night before, whatever it is. You know, referrals, who's due for a sphere of influence call, for sale by owners. How many of y'all driven and saw a for sale by owner sign in the last week or two?
Mm-hmm.
Has anybody stopped?
Slow down, took a picture.
What do you
I
do?
did. I
What do you
stopped.
do with it?
You stopped?
I just keep driving.
Well, the next time you
I'm
can
like,
stop.
no, I'm not gonna knock on that door right now.
So, what I do is I have a packet, and I didn't bring it, but if y'all want to see it, I'll show it to you. For sale by owners. And I go knock on, and I have my name tag on, or I have branded shirts, okay? And I go and I knock on the door. Hopefully they're home, right? If they're home, I say, look, John, I see you're selling your home for sale. I'm running late for an appointment. Here's a packet of information that you might need to help you sell your home. I'll follow up with you. I really am late for an appointment, and hand it to them. And I'll leave, and then I call them. And you know how I got you know how you get the phone number for sale by owner, right?
Yeah.
Or Zillow.
No, you're in front of the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
On the sign. How do you get the address? You're there, right?
right.
So then the next day I pick up the phone and say, hey John, I am so sorry I rushed off. Did you get a chance to look at the packet?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I said, well, look, I'm here to help you. I'm not asking to list your home, but I want to be a resource. And why am I doing that?
Build a relationship.
What?
Build a relationship.
Right. But what's the real main reason?
Get the listing.
Get the list.
Right. Because why? Because for sale by owners are, what's the thing about a for sale by owner, right?
They want to sell.
They want to sell. They think they know how to sell. They think they know how to market, right? Now, I have not done this, but other agents have done it. They've gone to the for sale by owner and said, look, I will do an open house for you. Any lead that comes in and it sells, I don't get any, people do it differently. I'm not asking for any money, but anybody that comes in, I just want their leads. Okay? I have not done that.
Do your other agents say it's worked for them?
Some say it worked for them, yeah. I have not done it, but other people have done it.
So,
But what I do now is, so I say, now, John, you have that, any questions? Because one thing that if you, how many of y'all live in DeKalb County? Anybody heard of the low flush toilet rule in DeKalb County?
No, I haven't.
No.
What is this?
You have to change all the toilets.
No, but, yeah.
Even another reason not to comment
Wow.
or renovation.
Yeah.
No,
They were
you
gonna
sign
be
a piece of
charged.
paper.
Yeah,
You sign a piece of paper at closing. It's part of the
Really?
packet. Oh, yeah, if you're selling the house, yeah.
What's
You're-
what is it?
Every house in Dunwoody, DeKalb County, has to have low flow toilets.
So what you're signing in is, what the buyer's signing is that they understand either A, that all the house has low flow toilets, or B, that they're gonna put low flow
Oh,
toilets
shoot,
there.
I just bought a house in DeKalb a year ago. I do not remember signing that.
Because most agents
Yeah,
don't
I
know
did it
about
last
it.
May, I don't remember.
Most agents don't know about it. Most closing attorneys don't even think to ask about it. But if you go to DeKalb County to turn your water on, they may ask for it.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay? So,
Is this new?
No.
5, 6 years.
Nobody
Wow, DeKalb County didn't ask me, I just did.
Again, it's like anything else. It's the,
Well,
but what I'm
it's
saying
DeKalb
is-
County, let's just go.
but I'm just saying, so when you go to a for sale by owner in DeKalb County, I guarantee you most of them don't have a clue, and you say, and I have that in my packet if it's DeKalb County. And it's a sample, so they can't use it.
So what are you giving them then in this package, curiously?
I show them, well, if it's DeKalb County, I show them the low fold, and it's so simple. I show them a contract, a sample on
So
it.
you put sample contract in there.
I show them a seller's disclosure, an HOA. And you're asking me, why do I do that? Well, they're either gonna use an agent or they're not gonna use an agent. They can't reuse the thing. It's a sample across every single page. But I'm coming from a place of service.
Well, it's funny,
And I
I
can-
was telling you, I sold all my houses except for my last one on my own. That's how I met Brandon. Many realtors came pretending they had an agent. Well, he actually had someone, but 2 weeks into showing it 11 times, I realized that I was too emotionally attached, and I was touring people like I was their builder or something. It got just so overwhelming.
Well, that's the main thing when you're talking to people. What is your job as a buffer? You know, the old adage, if you ever see the little cartoons, what does the seller think the house looks like? You know, a castle, right? What does the tax assessor think it looked like? An apartment building, right? What does an agent think it looks like? Yeah, just a normal house. What does a buyer think it looked like? A shack, right? You take the emotion out of it. You make the decisions out of it. And if the agent, so if I knock on a for sale by a owner's home and nobody's there, I don't leave the packet.
You wait to be able to talk to them.
Yeah, I'm not giving, I want the opportunity. So I may pick up the phone and call and say, I came by your house. Nobody was there. How are you showing your property? Every agent asks me that. Okay. I wasn't asking that. I was just really wanting to know when you're going to be home. I'm going to drop some paper information on to help you sell your home. I'm not asking to list your home. I live in the neighborhood, if I do, and if I say, if I live in the neighborhood, I say, I live in the neighborhood. I want the house to sell. I want the house to sell for top dollar because it helps my health. So I'm willing, I'm just going to give you this. Oh, yeah, right. Look, I'll hand it to you and walk out the door.
So were
When
you
you gonna be
lying
home?
about living in the neighborhood part you just
No,
said?
I only say that if I'm living in the neighborhood.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh my God, dude, do I lie to you?
No. I only say it if I'm living in the neighborhood. And most of the time, that's the area I'm driving around.
Okay.
But I mean, if I was to do it at some other, I wouldn't say I live in the neighborhood. I would say, here's some information to help you sell your home. I'm here for a resource.
Okay.
I want you to be successful.
Do you put a comps list in there? too?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Don't give them too
That's
much.
free.
Because
That's too
they're
much
not a
ammo.
client yet, right?
Nope.
They're
I
just
don't
a
even
customer.
I don't even give someone that calls me and asks for a comp list. Because my answer is, that's great. You want me to just be a Zillow? You want me to be an iBuyer and just say, oh, your house is worth it? I haven't seen your house. Do you have granite? Do you have quartz? Do you have holes in the wall? Do you have dogs? Do you have cats? Do you have birds? Is your roof 20 years old? And they're like, well, what are you talking about? I can't give you an estimate on your home without seeing your home. When is a good time for me to come and review your home? And then you'll find out if they're serious. I don't want you to come. I just want to know what my house is worth. I said, okay. There's lots of services out there. I said, when you take, and then if and then if I have the opportunity, if it depends on the mood I'm in, I'll say, you ever taken your car to CarMax? No. Do you know what CarMax is? Yeah. Well, when you drive your car, do they just write you a check or do they drive it around and look at it? Same thing. They look at it, right? They don't just write you a check. And if they do write you a check, what are they going to give you? The lowest possible dollar they can.
So you got to be well informed.
Right.
Might as well go with me.
Right. All right. So we talked, because I am running behind. Okay. So we talked about source. Let's talk about prospecting sources now. So we just talked a lot about for sale by owners, right? That's a way to prospect. There are some agents that spend a lot of time doing it. They're very well at it. Some that aren't. You find your niche. Who knows what door knocking is? Only one person in here knows what door
I
knocking
would
is?
assume I know what it is, yeah.
Okay. Who's scared to go door
Sounds too
knocking?
obvious.
I am. I don't want to get shot.
You want to get shot?
I don't know what's going on. You know,
You don't
some
know.
strangers. You know, I get people knock on my door, and I have a problem. I'm like, who's knocking on my door at this
Okay.
time?
I understand.
I
So,
don't, that's my fear. I just don't want to knock on the wrong person's door, and you know what I'm saying? That's
Okay.
crazy.
I totally get that. I totally recommend. I say, well, if you're gonna farm a neighborhood, does everybody know what farming is before I go
No,
there?
I don't.
No.
Okay, it is where corn is grown. No, I'm just kidding. So farming a neighborhood. So you ready to take?
Taking a break?
We kind of took an early break. So whenever you're ready, we'll take a picture, and then we'll take another break. So whenever you're ready.
All right.
All right, come on.
All right, we're gonna go in the atrium conference room.
Okay.
See the play.
Alrighty then.
I didn't get the notice. She didn't tell me it was picture day.
You're just supposed to know. Oh, be ready. Be ready.
Always have yes, huh?
Get a little lip gloss.
I know your friend's on a conference call. You need what? Oh, they didn't send us home the stamp on it. Okay. I'll ask him these. Yeah, he didn't tell me. I didn't get it, no. Yeah, I'll ask John for it. But the so the CAD drawing you said didn't have the stamps on it. Okay. Then we're probably gonna have to pay for another one because he said that's all he's got is what he sent me. Yeah, he's not going to release it because the seller said that she doesn't have anything with a stamp on it either because I was talking to her and she said that he just did a hand drawing for her. Okay. All right, we'll have to talk to Becky about getting one done then. Yeah, they want everybody to pay them. Right, especially since they're they know that they have the upper hand. I mean, they're the ones that are holding the plans. So, well, we may have to find another person to do it for them and pay someone else $450. Okay. All right.
there, man.
Oh, I'm
My
burning
hands
up.
are cold.
I'm burning up.
Like this part is good. I just need some
I'm-
gloves.
I'm-
Sit on my hands.
I'm burning up, so that's why I made her turn it down.
No,
Sorry,
it's
sorry.
always, no, it's always like that.
Okay.
Good.
It feels good for a while. But then,
All right,
like
so
I said, my hands-
she's coming here in 15, 30 minutes. We gotta get moving. We gotta get
She's on your
moving.
tail now.
Yeah, we're rocking. I had a 30-minute delay I gotta make up for. It's like the airplane, you know. I gotta get that tailwind going.
Come on, oh my God, the amount of delays on the Carmax.
Alright, so we got who wanted on a couple more.
Oh yeah, you gotta bring your sweater.
Oh, see, I'm hot. Like, and I'm not having hot flashes. I'm just
Your name sounds so
mouth.
I'm willing to let you
No,
borrow.
I'm okay. I have my sweater on.
Sweet.
I just need to be able to do this.
If that's
Sit-
what I
sit
was
on my
doing,
hands.
yeah, that's what I was doing.
Alright, so we got one. Waiting on 2 more people. Alright, so who asked about farming?
We did.
Yeah.
Okay, so farming is when you take a specific neighborhood area and that's where you're focusing on marketing to. If you live in an HOA neighborhood, like I was saying, if you live in a community, and you know, that's the areas to farm, okay? So, when you're farming, it's like you were talking about, geographically, you're picking a little area, okay? So, who lives in a neighborhood? Give me somebody's neighborhood. What neighborhood?
Dunwoody Club Forest.
All right, so you Dunwoody Club Forest, right? That's a big neighborhood too. So you may not. There's probably 300 plus homes in Dunwoody Club Forest. It's a big neighborhood. So maybe you're going to concentrate either on the whole neighborhood or part of it, but that's going to be your farming. Farming takes the longest, okay, because you're building up. Okay, that's the people that you're sending postcards to. So this is what.
Are y'all having fun?
Yeah.
This is one of the fun classes.
Learning.
Creative.
You always know you're having fun when you're behind.
Yeah, we're behind. We're gonna speed it
Yeah,
up.
we've been
So
And stressing.
I'm stressing. I'm about 30 minutes behind. Okay, so I'm maybe on Sam. That's my team, right? Our team name is We Sell ATL. Okay, whatever you can. Some agents are just whatever you want to call yourself. You can just be yourself. But we call our team name is We Sell ATL. We're farming a particular neighborhood in East Cobb. It's really kind of more west, between East and West Cobb. It doesn't matter. So what we've made a point is every month they get something in the mail, a postcard. And people say snail mail doesn't work. And you're right, it doesn't necessarily work. But our farming takes the longest. It's not the fastest. Our goal is to get in front of them. This neighborhood averages between 10 and 15% turnover rate year after year. And it's really because the families outgrow the size of the home. So when you're looking to farm, you need to look at the history of the sales. If it's a neighborhood that only has a small percentage, less than really, 10% really is where you want to be, you don't want to farm that neighborhood. It's not turning over. Has anybody ever heard of Stevens Walk? Does anybody know what Stevens Walk is? Does anybody know where the JCC is? Off of Tilly Mill.
Yes.
There's a little neighborhood literally across the street. It's a gated community called Stevens Walk across the street, okay? Maybe one house a year,
Yeah, I was wondering about that.
okay? You don't want to, I'm not saying you don't want to farm it, but that's really not good use of a dollar. They're older couples typically. They're all, except for 1 or 2 of them, are all ranches. They don't turn because they're established, okay? So I wouldn't spend my dollar. So when we did our research of where we wanted to farm, where we knew areas, we were looking for neighborhoods that had turnover year over year consistently between 9 and 15%. Because there's good years and bad years, right? That's where we're spending our dollars. Every month, they get a letter. First letter was a handwritten letter, and hand signed and hand enveloped, okay? 250 homes. Okay, why did we hand write every envelope? Anybody know?
Because they're older
People are more willing to open handwritten letters.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're more likely to open.
If they see it with a label or pre-computerized printed, what's going to happen? Right.
Recycle.
Or
I open the mailbox on stands with recycling.
Right. But if you see a handwritten one, what will you do?
I would open it because thinking it's important.
Right. Now, what envelope do we use?
A letter, like a true stationery.
Like a,
Does it say Keller Williams on it?
Nope.
Like a card.
like a card envelope or something.
No, I just use a regular envelope, but I don't have Keller Williams on it.
What do you have on it?
My name, Eddie Levin.
Okay.
They don't know me, right? But if they see KW, what's going to happen the first time?
Recycle.
Right. So the first time we did it, we wrote a handle, and this was legit. We didn't make this up. I actually had a client that wanted to live in the neighborhood, and there were no houses at the time for sale, and every house that went on the market was selling within 5 days. Okay, so we sent it out. I got 7 calls from those 250 letters.
That's great.
Okay, 2 of them were from agents that their client said we're listing the house. We got to go in and see 2 of the homes before they were listed. My client's on the verge of making an offer for 1 of them. Okay. The other 5, we've made it appointments. They're thinking about selling now. They're on our part of my 4 C's. Okay. We're connecting. Okay. So every month they get a postcard. This was the next one's going. If y'all want to pass around, it's just the Atlanta United schedule. It's one of them. One that goes out this week is back to school, and it has all the Cobb County holiday dates on the card. And why am I sending cards that hopefully will go on the refrigerator, not in the trash.
Do you use the same woman that Mia uses?
I don't know who Mia uses. This is Sam Underwood.
Yeah, same one.
Okay. With E Touch Marketing, E Marketing Touch. Okay. So that's who I use. I don't know if it's the same person. Then, what are we doing next? This is farming, because farming takes the longest. We're sponsoring a garage sale. We're paying the HOA to put our banner up by the pool, and we're sponsoring. We're buying the balloons. We're sponsoring the garage sale, right? So now what do we get to do? We get to go door knocking on every door, introducing ourselves, saying, we're going to be sponsoring the garage sale. How many balloons will you need if you're partaking, and can I get a sign for you? Sure. Okay. Here's my card, here's my email. Would you do me a favor if you're not sure? Would you email me if something changes? And also, can I get your email information, because I want to just confirm a week before that you're doing the garage sale.
At this point, did you ever let them know your real estate agent?
Oh, absolutely. I have a We Sell ATL shirt on. I have a Keller Williams hat on because it was hot. Yeah, I don't hide the fact, no. I'm very proud of it.
What neighborhood is this?
I'm not telling you. No, it's Hampton.
Hampton.
It's Hampton and Cobb. So we're gonna buy balloons. What color are the balloons gonna be? Anybody know?
Red.
Red and white. What are the signs gonna say?
No,
We sell ATL.
We Sell ATL, Keller Williams, and on the top's garage sale. So every house that's doing a garage sale is gonna say what? We Sell ATL. I'm gonna have what?
Clever.
Balloons. We're farming it, right? I have no signs in that neighborhood. I'm not selling any houses in that neighborhood. But I'm getting into name recognition. Okay? As we knock on the doors, because the HOA would not give me the emails. I asked for them, they didn't give them to me, I was fine with that. But we got to knock on every door, right? And we're going to have a flyer, so if they're not at home, they're at work, right? It's going to be there saying, we are so excited about helping you sponsor your garage sale. Here's our contact information. Would you please let me know if you're going to participate? How many balloons would you like? How many signs would you like?
For every house?
250 homes. How many signs do they need? How many balloons do they need?
2.
Right. So
What if someone called you and was like, I want 18 balloons?
I'm going to say, that'd be great. What do you need 18 balloons for? And you
It's
know
my
what they
daughter's birthday.
And you know what? If they say that's fine. If they said it's for my daughter's birthday, I said, when's the birthday? And how many do you need? What is it going to cost me?
A couple of dollars.
$9.
You know what we have in this room right here? You got it.
So you go around and you do that, and each person wants 2 balloons, and you take all those balloons to those houses?
On the day of the garage sale. Now, I don't blow them up here. We spend a little money at Costco, and there's these tanks you can buy.
Yeah, $29.95.
And we buy a couple of tanks, and we do it. Because not all 250 homes do it. It's about 50. But, how many people are driving through the neighborhood? Because we're putting We're advertising it for. How do you advertise a garage sale nowadays?
Signs on the road.
Facebook.
Email.
So I was gonna say you can put the I'm doing an open house this weekend, so I can put the balloons on the signs, just tie them on the signs, and it'll draw more attention.
You better know what county you're in.
Oh, I know. I've done it a couple of times.
Some
now.
counties do
It's
not
in
allow balloons.
It's in Decatur, actually.
Okay. Some
Are there
counties do
balloon
not.
police out there?
Yes, there are. Some counties do not wear balloons. So I will tell you what's the best thing to do if you can't put balloons.
So how do I find that out?
You need to find out. You need to find out what county it is. You need to go to the county ordinance and find out.
Oh, wow.
And if you're doing it for another agent, the open house, and somebody comes in and reports it, guess which agent gets fined?
Oh, really?
Yep, because they're going to look for that
I
open
haven't
house.
done it yet.
They're
Thank
gonna
God
look.
I asked.
So, has anybody heard of a place called the Dollar Store or Dollar Tree? I think it's Dollar Tree. Dollar Store is the one that's not a dollar. Dollar Tree, right?
Yeah.
So they have these little thing called pinwheels. You ever seen them?
Yeah.
They fit perfectly on your for sale signs, and they spin and they spin and spin and spin.
I got upset at an agent for putting those in my yard one day. No idea what.
In your yard or on their sign?
On their sign in my yard, because I'm like at a four-way stop.
Oh, well, you're not hurting the environment if with the balloon. That's the whole thing. The balloon blows away, the birds get it, whatever. Plus, it's cheaper because you can reuse them. They're $1 a piece. Okay, so that's farming. For sale by owner, we've gone over, right?
Yes.
How do we get an appointment for sale by owner?
Knock on the door.
Red X.
Red X, knock on the door, ask. And what are the odds they're going to say?
5%.
What?
5%.
Well, then you really made it if they're going to have to say, will you sell it for 5%? What are the odds when you call for sale by owner or see the sale by owner, the first thing they're going to say?
I don't even know.
I don't need an agent.
I'm not willing to pay you that.
That's right. So what
That's
do you-
why they're doing it by themselves.
Right.
What if do you ever get one where it's like, all right, you can help me, but I'm not paying you a commission. I'll give you 3% or something like that. What do you say then? Bye-bye.
Well, what do you want? What do you want for? What kind of help do you want? What kind of help do you want?
No, I'm asking, like, does that ever happen when you call
Oh, of
for
course,
sale?
because these people want all the money in their pocket.
Right. So then what do you say to that?
What would you like me to do for no commission?
Oh, you ask them that?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Ask that question. Ask that.
Yeah. If they say to me, will you sell my house? I'm only going to do 3%. Well, what would you like me to do for that 3%? Because you might as well sell it yourself.
Right.
Because if I list your house and I'm only offering a half a 1.5, or even if I said I'll do it 2 to the buying agent and 1 for myself. Okay. What would you like me to do? You want professional photography? Of course I want professional photography. Okay, are you going to pay for it out of pocket?
Right.
Because I'm going to pay for it out of pocket, and guess what? If the house doesn't sell, who eats that? I do, but I believe in my marketing technique. You want me to boost it on Facebook and LinkedIn? Who's going to pay for that? There's a thing called FMLS. Are you familiar with it? Yes, that's why I want an agent. Okay, well, we pay FMLS. They get their money first. See, they don't understand the actual cost that's involved, and that's your job to educate them. So you have to be prepared. Let me ask you this. Would you do it for no money? Okay. And then another question is, what do you do for a living? Ask them. See what they say. Odds are they say, I don't know, what's the profession? Insurance agent, right? Oh, I'm an insurance agent. Okay. Do you get policies for free? If I asked you for a homeowner's insurance policy, but I wanted it cheaper, which means you couldn't get your monthly commission, I think they get paid every month a little bit. Would you do it for free? No. You need me. You need my expertise. You need me as a buffer. You need to understand the market. If not, your house would have sold. Make them understand we have a business. Another great thing to do. And I do this all the time. I'll have, depending on the property of the house, right? And I'm getting so far behind. Y'all may have to stay an extra 10 minutes, right? All right. Typically, I'll have 5. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Well, you're asking, right? Okay. So how do you earn? You want me to do your house for free, right?
Can I videotape this? I've heard about it.
Yeah, we've heard about it.
Oh, you heard about it?
No, we've never seen it done. No, come back.
I've never heard of
You've
it.
never heard of it. Okay. So somebody says, "What do you do to earn your 6%?" And you go through your whole spiel. But let me say something. Say, look, you want me to list your house, right? 6%. So do I have $6? I have $6. I'm giving 3% to the buying agent. Would everybody agree? They're going to bring us a client most likely. All right. So that leaves 3%. Uncle Sam, everybody know Uncle Sam? He gets his money, does he not? Okay. So there's that. I work for a broker. My broker takes a percentage. He gets his money. And this is all before I earn my commission. I have my percentage left. Now, for my percentage, I stage, I take professional photographs, I market your house, I pay for the sign, I pay for the lot box. I do lots of things behind the scene. I negotiate on your behalf. If I start negotiating now and say, you know what, I'm only going to do it for 5%, or I'm only going to do it for 4%, where does that leave you for me to market your house? And if I'm already going ahead and giving away my commission, am I going to negotiate for you in the best interest? No, I'm not, because I'm already cutting my commission. How am I going to represent you the best way? Now, you may say, you're only earning 1%. I will say, fine. You paid my marketing, you paid my FMLS fees, you pay everything else that I'm paying for up front, whether I sell the house or not, but I'm still going to negotiate. Is that really what you want? And if they say yes, then you have to make the decision, is that client for you? Okay.
They're going to be difficult.
Yeah. But if you lay it out and say to them, say, look, there's only one little bit left. You want me to go ahead and start negotiating my salary, my commission now? What am I going to do when the table comes? Tell you what the agent's going to do. They're looking to get to the closing table as fast as they can. They don't lose any money. So when the inspection report comes back, I'm going to sit with you and say, look, all this is health and safety. You better fix it. Because I'm going to move on. You're costing me money. You want me to earn my money? Hire me. Did you get that?
Did you get that?
Did you get it? Okay.
I mean,
So there's different ways. There's different ways to go about it, and it takes time. I didn't learn this stuff overnight. Some of y'all probably can. It took me a while, and it's a confidence level. It really is.
It is.
It is a confidence level.
That's what it says, period.
Okay, and as long as you walk into the room with your head held high, and they don't know any difference whether it's your first or 10,000th listing, right? You just what is it? Exude confidence. You will get the sale. You will. And let me tell you, there's a lot of sales that I thought I was going to get, I didn't get, and a lot I didn't think I was going to get, I got. It happens, right? Okay, so we've gone over. Going back to door knocking, because that's kind of where we left off. I don't typically go door knocking by myself, and I'm a male. Okay.
I'm a woman. Like I'm very cautious.
Right.
My mentality is all
So
different.
take somebody with you.
Yeah.
Take somebody with you. Take somebody with you and go door knocking.
Yeah.
So to let you know, we have a couple of partners with Keller Williams, home warranty partners, and I should have brought a sample. They will give you free door knockers. You just put your card on it. You can buy them, whatever. Whatever you want to do, but if you want to get something free, bless you. The home warranty company, you just ask for them, they'll give them to you. Okay, and you just stick your card on it. But go when you're gonna, and that goes back to farming neighborhood. And when you door knock, don't do it once, because if you do it once, it's useless. You have to make a commitment that you're gonna farm, whether it's door knocking, mailers, calls, whatever. You're making a commitment that you're gonna do it. And let me tell you, it's not the easiest thing. It took me years before I got the courage to do it. Because I was like, it's what a waste of time. I've got 3 listings in the last 3 years, and I don't do a lot of door knocking, but we're door knocking in a particular neighborhood that we still farm. I've sold a bunch of homes and bought homes in that neighborhood. And I got 3 listings in that neighborhood by door knocking.
Wow.
And that's when we started farming it. but I door knock that neighborhood every other week, okay? And I'd alternate times hoping to catch people. So, and I had people get off my line, do this, shut the door, not open the door.
Oh my
and
God,
ring's the
so
best.
scary.
Ring's the best because what do you do when you door knock?
Ring the doorbell.
No! Who said that?
What?
Who said that?
Keep your pepper spray in hand.
You knock. You knock. So you're knocking and the dog starts barking, you knock. You knock twice. Maybe you ring the door, but you gotta knock first. That's why it's called door knocking. Well, I was sitting there and I was knocking.
Make sure they don't have no animals.
I was knocking and all of a sudden I heard this voice somebody was home. And I didn't push the ring, but they see you, I guess, when you walk. And can I help you? I said, I'm just Eddie with Keller Williams. I was just coming around the neighborhood to introduce myself. I don't need anything. I said, that's great. Can I leave you a flyer? No. I said, okay. I said, I appreciate your time. Hope you have a pleasant day. And I turned around to walk away. He goes, what did you say? I said, I hope you have a pleasant day. And he's like, well, I just told you to get off my property. You're having I said, look, I said, I can't help you. I appreciate the opportunity. He came to the door, he took my card.
That's how you know people do that just to get a reaction out of you. Like, it's like some people
They want to see your reaction.
They really do
And
that.
every house you go into, every door you knock on, whatever, what do you have to remember? This is very important for you to learn when you're showing property or if you're doing an open house. You're always being recorded.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you're always being recorded. So if you're showing property and the kids are running wild, gotta explain to your client, look, every door we go into, every house we go into, we're being recorded. If they love the house, have a signal. Tell them to text you. Don't say, I love this house, but let's offer $50,000 lower. But I'm willing to pay full price.
Mm-hmm.
One of the agents in here had that happen.
Really?
And their buyer sent them the video of it. So when the offer came in, they're like, yeah, we're full price. They knew. So you're always being recorded. Always. Remember that. So don't go, if everybody has to go to the bathroom right in the house, right? Something. Try not to. See if you can get your client to wait to go to but I mean, if they have to, make sure they flush. If they have kids that are with you, kind of walk behind them when you're trying to vlog, make sure they flush. They didn't on the floor. Because it's our reputation. So as many agents there are, it's a small community. But always remember and explain to your clients that if you're in a house, you are being recorded. Okay. So expired and withdrawals. Does anybody know what the difference between an expired and a withdrawn? Do anybody know what I'm talking about with expired?
Expired listings and a withdrawal.
You know how to,
like maybe someone pulls out because they didn't
took it off the market.
comply with whatever they needed to. Is that it?
Okay.
Withdrawal.
So when you get a listing appointment, you're going to set it for so many days. 90 days, 60 days, 120 days, 2 years, whatever you do. If it doesn't sell it goes in as expired, right?
Yeah.
They expired, every agent's calling. All 1% of the good agents are calling, right? Expired means that whatever reason it didn't sell, it was overpriced, whatever the case may be. Withdrawn, there could be multiple reasons for it. There could be that maybe somebody got sick. So you have to be careful when you're calling expired and you're calling withdrawn, so you kind of understand if you're talking to the homeowner. If expired means it ran out of time, odds are that's the reason. And you can ask the questions, what happened, what we're looking for, trying to get the business. Withdrawns, be a little bit more tactful because maybe somebody got sick, maybe somebody got hurt. You don't know, maybe they're getting a divorce, what the reasoning is, and be prepared for anything. Or they could have said, oh, my agent's withdrawing it because we're going to put new photos. Okay. Stacy, while you're in here, can I ask you a quick question? Because I always say this, and I don't know. I don't know if there's a rule. I won't call a Keller Williams agent on an expired or withdrawn without calling that agent first. I don't know if that is, because I think it's courtesy. I don't know if there's a written Rawls Group rule.
No.
Okay.
Written.
So you can call anybody you want. You will be surprised as you do this business how many of the same people you run into again. And you treat them with respect, that's going to get you the deal. Your name could put you over the top. So if you're calling expired, and there are so many Keller Williams, you do what you want to do. I pick up the phone. If it's a Rawls group, I absolutely pick up the phone. But when I'm making calls on expireds, if it's a Keller Williams agent, I will pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Stacy, I saw your listing expired. What happened? Can I call the owner?" Some of them will say, "Don't even call him. She was a you-know-what," or "It didn't work. We didn't mesh. Call her. Try this number." But I always call, and you know what? You're going to miss. You may not be that first or second person. It's just, you're going to see the same people over and over again, and the last thing you want to know is that. Do what you want. It's my personal opinion. Okay. Open houses. How many of y'all done an open house? How many of y'all scared to do an open house? How many of y'all want to do an open house? What's the best way to do an open house when you don't know what the hell's going on?
Find out what's going on.
Do it.
Shadow.
That's what I did. I followed my sponsor to one of the little locations and just watched her, and then after 2 weeks she let me do one on my own and helped me. It wasn't bad.
Right. And if you don't know anybody things, Felicia puts a list of all the open houses every week. Get in your car and drive. Introduce yourself. Hey, I'm Eddie Levin. I'm new agent with Keller Williams. I'm trying to learn, whatever it is. Okay? However you want. Open houses. I did one in my listing, and I did from 2 to 4, and I was texting Bjorn, and he was doing one in Smyrna. He's like, I got 5 groups already through. I had nobody. I thank God the Braves game's on, the whole thing. 4 o'clock came, I had my first person. Sometimes you hit or miss. I did an open house about 2 weeks prior. I had 15 people come through that house. Okay, it's hit or miss, but what are you looking for if you're doing an open house? Prospects. You're looking for an unrepresented buyer. So when you want to ask them, everybody, whether you do it electronically or on a piece of paper, you want them to fill out their information. If you're willing to pay the money, there's apps out there that they sign in on the app on your iPad. It catches their information. It sets them up on an auto thank you email. It does all that. I still do old school method, paper, because that's just what I've done. Bjorn does electronic, and what we have found, believe it or not, is those that do electronic are more apt to put in their correct information than those that are handwriting it out. I don't know why that is.
Yeah, why? Because it's easier to type.
Because I don't know if everybody now is so used to that's every day you go somewhere and they ask you for your email and you're typing it in or whatever. They just seem to be more apt to fill it in. I'm trying to speed up. If they you always ask them if they have an agent, and if they say, why do you want to know if an agent? Say, because I want to let your agent know that you came by and that you were or were not interested in the house. And if they say they have an agent and they give you the phone number, you better call that agent, because what are they going to say? I was at an open house and they said they were going to call you. Okay? And then as an agent on this end, what's the one thing we all want from somebody doing an open house?
Courtesy.
What?
Courtesy.
Courtesy? What else?
Feedback.
Instant feedback. Because what's the first thing that we're going to be asked by our client?
How
did it go? So, when I was doing open houses for other agents, right after I collected all my signs and I turned off all the lights, I immediately typed up an email. Eddie, we had 5 visitors, 2 neighbors, 3 with whatever I had. Okay, sent it. This one's interested. This one's interested. Here's the list of 8. Here's the list of people that came. Blah blah blah. Because agents, if most of the agents can be like, okay, whatever you get from the open house is yours. That's how I am. If you're doing an open house for me, I want you to get as many clients as you can. Hopefully, one of them buys the house. But we all know that when we do an open house, you're not selling the house. What are you selling?
Yourself.
There you go. Okay, agent referrals. Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to add this in there because you didn't mention it, but also part of the open houses is really just to get the listings in the neighborhood. I'm not sure if you mentioned that.
I didn't. That's a good thing. And there's nothing that I used to do that I don't do anymore, which I probably should go back to doing this. I used to knock on Thursdays before the open house of the whole neighborhood, And I would say, I'm doing an open house. I apologize if there's going to be extra cars. We're going to be doing it from 2 to 4. Why don't you come by if you want to see the house at 1:30 and you have a private showing? I used to do that
You
because
say that so they can see what.
you know the neighbors are going to come, right? Neighbors always typically come. But what you're doing is you're saying, I'm setting myself apart to get the listing, hopefully for somebody else, because not many agents will go knock on the other doors, telling them what's going to go on. And also at the same time, I always usually say, do you know anybody who might be interested? It might. I'm sorry. Would you agree?
Yes, yeah. I think it's probably, I think, in my opinion, that you should focus on getting listings versus buyers at open houses.
Right.
I just feel like you'll be more successful that way. But yeah, knock on all their doors, put out the flyers, say come by, knock it like 2 days beforehand. Then also ask them, when's the last time you thought about selling your home? They'll tell you.
Yeah, that's
They're
even
like,
better. That's even better.
Yeah, or like, oh my gosh, my friend wants to live down the street. I'll call her. And then like, they'll come around.
Yeah. Okay, so open houses we talked about before, during, and after. Make sure you follow up. And neighbors, there's always that one neighbor that knows everything.
It was one.
They're gonna come, and if you can find that neighbor, they're gonna tell you who's getting a divorce, who's being transferred, and they don't even think about it. They just like to
babble everybody's business out.
Yep. Especially if you're like, I did one in Indian. Are y'all familiar with Indian Hills? The neighborhood in East Cobb. That's a neighborhood that's flipping and turning. They're taking the order. And I did an open house, this was years ago, and I'll never forget this. And this old lady came. She must have been 80. Oh, well, so and so died over here, and her kids have it. And this, I picked up 3 listings because of that one lady. And I sent her gift cards.
So you live in Dunwoody. You seem to focus in East Cobb.
Well, my last company was in East Cobb. We were off of Lower Roswell. So we were in Old County and Roswell. So for 10 years, that was where I did live. I still do live in Dunwoody, but that was where our office was. So that's why I've done
Well, I did an open house in Buckhead, and I was very uncomfortable when I had this really sweet couple, but they were asking me about the parks around there, this around. I didn't know it.
Well, one of the things that you have to understand when you're doing an open house, because you're doing an open house to get clients, right? So what do you have to be?
Their directory.
Prepared.
Yeah.
So if you're doing an open house in a neighborhood you're not familiar with, which if you're asking agents to do it, odds are you're not going to know the neighborhood. But what's the best way to find out about the neighborhood? You go on FMLS and you see what's sold, what's under contract, what's expired, what's withdrawn in that area, right? What's the next best thing to go? Google Maps or Yelp. You can pull up restaurants, reviews of restaurants, right? So if Publix is, so let's take Dunwoody Country Club, right? So if you're in the center of Dunwoody Country Club or Dunwoody Forest or whatever you want to call it, right? To your right on Jet Ferry, you have Kroger's, right? You have McDonald's, you have Chick-fil-A, you used to have Sprouts, it closed, right? If you go a quarter mile to the left, you have Publix in Dunwoody Village. Okay, if you don't live in this area, you better sure know it, because what's the first thing that someone is driving by that doesn't know the area that's looking at a house? Where are the restaurants? Where are the grocery stores? Where are the parks? Does it have an HOA? Does it have a pool? How many tennis courts does it have? Does it have a playground? You have to prepare yourself. You have to know all this. Some agents, like if I'm an agent doing an open house for me and there's something very specific, I usually remember. But you know what? We're busy, we forget. You have to that goes back to preparing. You definitely want to know. I don't give information out about churches or synagogues. No. And if somebody asks me, I say, look, there's lots of websites. I don't get into that information about different religious things because I don't know all the churches. I don't know all the synagogues. I can get you, go here to get a list. But hey, Chick-fil-A is around the corner. East 57th Group is a great place to get pizza dough and Italian, like if I'm doing, and I read up on try to know when you're doing open house, because you have to be the expert. They don't know you don't know.
Well, I noticed they also asked about schools.
So what do you say when somebody asks you about a school?
I thought afterwards, like, you should go to greatschools.org. That's
Or
where
the
they
county.
give out excellent information.
Or whatever county you're in, tell them to go on the
On
county
Realist,
school.
through FMLS, through Realist Tax, if you go through there and pull up information, there's a thing that pulls up like the neighborhood specs, and it'll tell you like the grocery stores, the schools,
Right.
the coffee.
And this is on FML?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
the
it's all
Realist
there.
Tax.
It's all
Yeah,
there. And there's also once, Certainty does a program, they'll sign you up for free called List Reports, and it will print out schools. But if somebody asks you about schools, you cannot say Dunwoody High School is better than Chamblee High School.
Yeah.
You can't say that.
Can't say anything.
So what you say is, there's different websites, the Atlanta Business Chronicle. I'll be happy. Can I get your contact information? I'll email you those links. Because now what have you done?
You
Got a
check.
reason to follow up
Follow up
with
with
them.
them.
Well, why can't you tell me about the schools? I can't tell you a school about the schools legally. I cannot. What's it called if you try to point somebody? What's it called?
Steering.
Steering. I'm not legally allowed to steer. And
Can
when
you
you
say
explain
what
it,
schools are, what school district it is?
yo, absolutely.
Okay.
You're in the Dunwoody High School district.
Here's a question I have for you. As an agent and you're selling a home,
Mm-hmm.
and you list it on FMLS, and you put schools in the area, but you don't put the schools it's really zoned for. You put the better schools in the area, but it's not the school it's zoned for. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, that's a Robin Blast $1.6 million listing that I just came across at a friend's of mine house. I went, they're not zoned Dunwoody, that's Fulton County. And
then
is that like,
And then there's
is that
no-
like bad? Can you get
To
in
me,
trouble? Can you get in trouble for that? Let me ask you that.
That's a good question, because at the
Yes.
very bottom of it, it says all this information is deemed but to best of my knowledge, you as the need to verify yourself.
Because I felt like it was very
FMLS,
misleading.
if you put in the public remarks, great school district, blah blah blah, FMLS will send you a notice and make you take it out.
Yeah.
As far as them putting the wrong elementary school, wrong
And
high school, whatever, that's a bad agent. I don't know. And if I was the owner and I saw my listing and saw that, I'd be furious.
And then the other reason is that the schools.
Now, why would you be furious if you're in the worst school system and she's putting in the better school system?
Because it's false advertising.
Is it more likely to have contracts to fall through?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. That's what I feel like when I saw
You're
it.
not representing.
These are friends of mine
So-
that are selling this house, and I
So,
was like,
I mean-
I haven't talked to her yet to say, did you see your listing?
Yeah, you should say, look, why are you using her listing? She's not even accurate. So let me ask you this. If you were buying a car, right? You're buying a Acura, right? And they said that it gets X number of miles to the gallon, it's got four-wheel drive, it's got a sunroof, it's got airbags, right? And you bought the car and you found out there are no airbags. You'd be furious, right?
Yeah.
You know, to me, you're buying a school because you think you're in North Springs.
Can you say close to some of Atlanta's greatest private schools?
You can,
I feel like
but
I've seen that before.
you can. Sometimes FMLS will knock it out. You got to be careful of steering. Like you can't. Like so. If I'm listing a house in Dunwoody, okay, I could say near the JCC because that's a community center, but I could not say right next to REL, Orthodox Synagogue. They would kick that out.
But not the JCC, okay.
Because it's a community. I could say the YMCA. I could say located near great restaurants, I could say great schools without naming them. But if I said located next to Marist High School, they'd probably kick it out.
Okay.
Okay, shopping is fine. You don't want to steer somebody. Just like if someone calls you and says, I only want to see houses next to St. Jude's Catholic Church. Okay, so they're in the Spalding Wood subdivision, right? They told you what they want to see. Now, if they said, I'm Catholic, and then you said, oh, I'm going to take you over to Spalding Woods because it's there next by by St. Jude's Catholic Church, that's steering. Do you see what I'm saying? If they said to you, I want to go to, I want my kids to be in Riverwood Charter, Riverwood High School, right? They're telling you where to go.
That's not steering.
That's not steering because they're telling you that's
Only
where
the
they
school
want to be.
district.
But if they said to you, I want to be in a great school district, and you said, okay, we're going to send you over to the Riverwood High School district, That's steering. That'll get you in a lot of trouble.
Well, I have someone who wants to move like near Marist, so that's okay.
They're telling you.
Yeah.
Right, okay. All right, we gotta keep moving on because we are behind schedule. Agent referrals we talked about. Social media we're gonna talk about in a few minutes when Stacy comes back. So, there's this thing called Memory Jogger. I want because this is really great. So if everybody will go in their book and let's take it out. It's near the end of that chapter before social media. And then we're gonna come back to social media. So we were talking earlier about what? Sphere of influence, right? It should be right before that. It says Memory Jogger on it. Does everybody see it?
Right before the next tab.
It's right before the next tab.
Staple.
It's stapled, right. So take it out. Let's just take it out real quick. Okay. I do this from time to time just to get me back in the thing. So we all talked about sphere of influence. What is sphere of influence? They know who we are. They are typically hopefully our A's and our B's, right? This memory jogger, I want everybody to take a piece of paper out. You can write it on here. I want everybody to go through here. I want to see how many people you could figure out and remember. And the reason this is great is because it makes you think of people that you never thought about, right? So I want everybody to bowling people, football people. So I want everybody to take a look at this. We're going to spend 2 or 3 minutes. I want you to write down as many names next to the unusual things you didn't think about. So take a minute to look over all the pages.
I don't have that.
You don't have it?
No, I don't either.
What?
Yeah, that sounds
Oh, you know what? She added something yesterday, maybe.
It might have been
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds like right.
Who else doesn't have it?
I
Tell me.
don't.
1, 2. Everybody else has it?
Yes.
2. Okay. Hold on.
You guys just need to make sure you say.
Yeah,
Was
well,
it
it's
just
one.
What page is that? One I looked for.
Oh, no. I don't think it's bad. Is it bad?
I don't like the flash reflects
Okay, so while we're waiting on those to come, so, all right, so while we're waiting on these to come, let's take
So what are we doing with this?
This is called Memory Jogger. Okay, and I do this from time to time when I kind of get into a rut trying to think of who to go contact. So what we're going to do is, I've talked about becoming refining our business, so we're trying to become the go-to person, correct? Mm-hmm. Right. So we're trying to meet new people. So one of your homework assignments that y'all don't know about yet, but I'm going to go ahead and tell so y'all can think about it, it's not written down, is you're going to make a list of 25 businesses, okay, that you either know somebody or want to know somebody.
I'm gonna have to take them out of your book. And I'll replace.
I know, I'm just messing. So,
Who else needed, sorry?
who else needed it? Are we good?
I think it was just us.
Oh, that's it? Oh, we're good. Sorry. So, I want you to take and think of 25, and this memory jogger will help. So, of businesses. So, everybody needs to know a roofer. And we have, if you don't know a roofer, we have a great roofer that's part of our network. But I also want you to think outside
Do we
the
don't print that
What?
list, preferred vendor?
Yeah, if you have it, that'd be great. So,
So are these for us to call on or just for us to use to help with
these are people I want
prospects?
you to call on because I want you to think of 25 businesses, okay? So that you know somebody that works there or somebody you want to know, okay? Because if somebody picks up the phone as you're building your business and says, I need a roofer, you're going to have a name in your you're going to have a name in your phone. But what happens if they call and says, I need a landscaper? Do you have somebody?
I do.
Okay, not everybody has a landscaper. What about if they called and said, I need a pool guy? Do you have a pool guy?
I do.
Okay, you do. All right. What about if they called and said, I need a dog walker?
That woof woof app, whatever it's called.
No. You want these in your phone. So I want you to make a list of 25 businesses
I see.
outside the box.
I got you. Okay.
Okay? And I did, all right. So I'll give you an example. What was one of the businesses that I thought of outside the box, and she's become a really good referral source. Okay? And the reason I said dog walker, it wasn't dog walker, it was boarding. I don't board my dogs. Okay? But there are tons of pet boarding, right? They meet people every day, right? So that was one that I wanted to get to know. Do you know the other one that I wanted to get to know? Take a guess. Think about people coming into the city of Atlanta. Who would you want to meet?
Actors.
Okay. How do you meet actors?
On the plane.
Okay, well that doesn't count. I'm not flying. Okay. I wanted to meet concierge at the hotels. So I met a guy at it was the Ravinia. It's a Ravinia. He was the concierge for Ravinia. Those are business people. He talks to everybody. Okay, and I'm talking about business hotels. I'm not talking about the Holiday Inn Express. I'm talking about the Intercontinental, Marriott. Okay, so I wanted to meet a couple of the concierge, and I would go into this before they just redid it, and I met them, and we became friends, right? We were just talking and everything. He hears everything because they come up to say, look, who do you know we're being transferred? What areas do you know? I don't know this, but here's a card of somebody you do know. Okay. We had if you speak a foreign language, does anybody fluent in a foreign language? I'm not. I'm barely fluent in English. Anybody fluent in a foreign language?
Amen on that one.
Okay. If you speak a foreign language, that is a great. So I want y'all to think. This is not right now. This is for your homework. Start thinking of 25 businesses or types of things that you want to meet. That's going to help your business. On top of, you need your roofer, you need your plumber, you need your landscaper, right? You need your dentist, you need an orthodontist, you need an optometrist, eye doctor, you need a physician, you need a gynecologist, you need a cardiologist. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But when you become the go-to, these are the types of things they ask. You need a caterer. Who has a caterer? Okay? Who has a caterer? Who is a nail person. Because all I hear from my wife and daughters, I went to this, we're never going back. And they change so fast. Because they don't get it. All right. So everybody got their memory jogger, right? This is what we're going to do. This is going to jog your memory. I want you to write by the memory jogger. We'll spend a few minutes next to each. Who do you know? So if you know mechanic. How many of y'all know a mechanic? Okay, right? So next to my mechanic, I put Albert's name. I want you to go through there right now, go through each page and write people's names by them, and let's see how many people you can come up with.
Speaking of which, my bankers call me right now.
That definitely jogs my memory. I'm like, oh, bankers.
I did send it to her. She said I got her text later. Anybody else? Do you have your job? Let's see.
There it goes. Okay.
This one? Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah. Does anyone else want these photos before I send them?
Yeah,
Yes.
I would
I don't know. I just have, I'll airdrop all of them.
I have an Android.
I love Androids. I love having
What's
an
that?
The best phone ever.
Yes.
Thank you. And that's the one that was like
It's the smart people that have an
Wasn't that the one that was like
Android.
burning
The outfits just get with everyone else.
And look, and I can say that because I've had two. I like this phone and what was it? The one with the pen.
All right, so did y'all everybody come up with it? Y'all, I guess everybody's talking, so y'all have gone through the whole list, right? I feel like a teacher when they walk out of the room, right? Okay. So because we are running kind of out of time, this is a great thing to do. It's a great thing to do with your spouse or a significant other, because if you don't have something beside it, hey Sherry, look at this list. Who do you know we can talk to? Right? We're trying to get our name out. All right. So. Members of your family, and y'all gonna love this story, right? Everybody probably should have written something down unless their parents have passed away, right? You have a mother and father. Did you write their names down? Who didn't write their names down next to their parents? Really?
Do they have to live in the same town?
Yeah, I
Live
just
in the
put
same
down
town.
business.
Okay. All right. What about cousins? Cousins?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Aunts, uncles, right? Okay. It's a true story. There was an agent in this office. Got a call one day from her cousin. Hey, we're having a party. Come by. She hadn't seen her. What's the occasion? Oh. And I forgot the husband's name. I was going to use John because I see John's name. John got transferred and we're moving. Oh, really? I'd love to help you sell the house. Oh, we already sold. That's why we're having a party. Who'd you use? They totally forgot. The aunt totally forgot that they were an agent. Because why? Why did that happen?
Not interacting.
You're
Top of
not
mind.
top of mind. Every 6 days, they forget what you're doing. My daughter, 20 years old.
That reminds me.
My daughter, 20 years old. Someone said, "What does your dad do?"
Oh.
Oh no. Her parents were selling a house. Oh no.
That's my daughter.
My 20-year-old. I told her she's cut off. And then I started thinking to myself, she's the one that's becoming a doctor, so I reinstated her. This is what's good, the memory joggery.
Will you tell her you're not always for patients to her?
This is to remind you to remind people what you do, because they forget. And that is a true story. I didn't make that up. That agent's aunt sold her house with somebody else. And it wasn't because, oh, I didn't want to use family.
Yeah.
They forgot. Use this from time to time. And it's also good for your 25 to kind of think about who you are. Okay, let's see. All right, so we already have the, okay, let's, anybody put down bus driver? Just have your name, okay. Bless you. Computer tech, IT person. Did anybody put that down? You don't have everybody asks for IT people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pastor. Who put their pastor, rabbi, priest? What am I forgetting? I'm Jewish, so gotta help me out here. Okay. Did y'all put that down?
No. You gotta be
Atheist?
careful with the church. You gotta be careful with the church. They'll make you come back over and over again.
Okay. Banker. Who uses a bank nowadays? Who knows their banker still personally? You're one of the few, like myself. Especially with millennials, they don't have a freaking clue how to write a check, deposit a check, or what a bank is. They're used to doing it all on their own. They don't want to talk to anybody. Okay? Veterinarian. How many? Okay? What's good? And my vet, I was so mad at her. Her husband got transferred. She was great for years. They know everything. They know who's moving. They know who's boarding, why they're moving. They know it all. It's like your doctor. The doctor knows. They just got to be very careful because they can't. But these people, you know, let's see. HVAC guys. Anybody know wedding planners? Why are wedding planners good?
Because when people are getting married, they usually buy houses or move or
All
whatever.
right. So what is on the other end, real quick, this is my favorite one, nobody ever thinks about.
Divorce attorney.
Yeah. Perfect. Why is
I know a few
divorce?
of those.
Why is a divorce attorney good?
Because they're going to want to sell their house.
I don't want to sell.
No, they don't.
That's what those assets.
They're
They
okay.
know people that have to sell
They
their house.
have to sell the house, typically, and or what? Sell, buy.
So why not?
That's true.
Okay. So I went on LinkedIn.
Three
This is no
transactions.
joke. I went on LinkedIn and Facebook. Did not think about how I worded this. I need a referral for a good divorce attorney. Didn't think about how
Your wife would have been so bad.
So my wife is getting calls. What the hell is going on? I'm oblivious.
Gosh, you have been so mad.
She said, can you reword it? Like, what are you talking? Then I'm like, me? What the hell are you talking about? What'd you put on Facebook today? And I'm like, boom. You know, like my brain, like, you know, a typical guy. I mean, I'm taking for it. I'm like, oh, I just put on there, I'm trying to find divorce attorneys. Okay, why don't you say I'm looking for a referral for a divorce attorney to network with? I've had multiple emails and calls asking if I'm okay. So then I said to her, I said, you know what's sad? Nobody called me to ask if I was okay. So, we know where I stand. But that is a great person as a divorce attorney. But think about how you phrase it if you do like I did. All right, Stacy, you ready? No.
Kinda.
Okay, so we got about 15. If it's okay with y'all, we go maybe 5-10 minutes over to go over a few things. If not, if you have to leave, I understand. We're going to talk a little bit about social media. Stacy's going to go through command, and then we're going to.
Okay.
No?
I tried and I didn't master it. So I'm gonna just log into Facebook.
Okay. And while she's
All right, other than Eliza, who does not have a Facebook account? Okay, good. I want to show you. Well, also,
Do you want to do that to drain chart?
Yeah.
All right, tell me what you want me to call.
Well, first I'll show you what I'm doing in command. Agent.kw.com. Yes, we'll just do a demonstration. Okay, Stacy Stubbs, there we are, ta-ta.
I'm not looking.
Okay, this is the command dashboard. We're gonna go into Sketchhouse, just watch. You're not gonna get all this going. Okay, click on that one. Then we gotta do it again because we're actually going into a third party called We Design.
Is this Stacy Todd?
No, just Stubbs, S-T-U-B-B-S. Okay.
Oh, we cannot use that photo. Look how bad I look.
That's not the one. It's another one that's way better, but it's
Okay.
missing.
I'm just messing with her.
And look at Sherry with the squiggles over it. I did this before. So what I did, Scooch.
Oh, sorry.
What I did is,
The editor?
yeah, let me go back and the point is not to make perfection of this. There were, these are templates that they've got, and I looked and looked to see, what would work? Because obviously it's not a just listed or just sold type of picture. Like I looked at client testimonial, but that didn't, client love, but, you know, I wanted one where I could do a whole picture like that. I mean, I could have done this one, but to do the minimum number of changes, I ended up with this.
That sounds just other thing.
Yeah, although look, see, oh, this is the one I did, and then I click Use Template. And let's see, I had to go to logos, and I've done some prep work that y'all haven't done, so I clicked on this, wait a minute. Yeah, there's that. And I dragged it over here. Whoops, I want to have it here so I can shrink. Not you. And you have this lovely undo for your boo-boos.
Well, can I help you shrink it?
Okay, we're not going to worry about that.
But you can play with it. You can put things around, move it around.
Yeah, and let me just do this again.
Where is this? On KW?
No, it's command. You just missed the beginning.
Stacy, do we have access to command yet?
Yes, you do.
Oh.
So I'm going to be, obviously, I'm doing this with my left hand, so it's not perfect. So, and then I went to, let's see, images, add, and I'd already uploaded these, so let's try this one. So it's not as, well, Eddie looks better.
My
Well, that's all that matters.
Deborah looks
Sorry.
tired.
My eyes are
I almost
closed.
fat.
Deborah's asleep.
All right, let's see. I'm gonna do that.
Yesterday I blew a bit of basket case.
Yeah, I think
I
I
probably
like
would
the
cry.
If you click this circular thing right here that kind of goes round and around, that means replace the image. So let me
That's cute though.
get rid of this. So obviously I'm all over the place because I'm doing it with my left hand.
Oh, I like that.
But isn't that cool? And then the next step is I'm clicking share. Not fast, and Amber didn't make it into this picture. And I already have my Facebook account linked, and this is where I got hung up when I went round and round and round. The point is, once this is slick, completely, so we're gonna have to do some prep work, and we'll do this like after another Ignite class where we'll all go into command. We'll connect your personal Facebook account, so that it can be, the whole point of this is fast. You want to do something, once you kind of select a template you want to use, boom, 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 you can just, so I'm going to get away from this because I don't know why it's going round and round.
And Stacy, are they going to be adding additional templates to what's available?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, they've only just begun. So we're gonna just forget that.
I want to.
Tons and tons. So Eddie, take it away.
Okay, so you have to leave?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
gonna ask her.
All right, so everybody knows about Facebook, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Everybody knows about LinkedIn? Everybody have a LinkedIn account?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a step back. Everybody has Facebook, right?
No,
No, you don't have Facebook.
I am not on social
You're
media.
not going to be on social media. That's up to you. Okay, if you're on Facebook, though, I will recommend, and I will tell you this, you need to have a Facebook business page.
And that's different, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I'm not a Facebook junkie. Like, there are people that wake up in the morning, they look at Facebook, they look at lunch.
It's the same 20 people over and over on my list, even though I've got 400 contacts. What's up with that? How do you change that?
I'm not
You go
Facebook.
to following.
You gotta
follow
follow.
certain people.
So one of the things you gotta learn, and we'll kind of go about this, is you have to, if you're gonna be on Facebook, right? First of all, you want a business page. It's very easy to create. It takes no time. If I can create a Facebook page, business page, you can do it. Trust me. Okay? I mean, I'm old school. Pick up the phone, Rolodex.
I'm going to stop
top
your
things.
Facebook business page.
So, but I'm learning, and what people will tell you is, you have to be active. You have to like. You have to make comments. You have to talk. You have to do that. That's the way your feed gets going. You have to share your feed. You have to have people to like your business page. I'm not like, I need to do better. I'll be the first thing. LinkedIn. How many of you have LinkedIn accounts?
Don't use it much.
Yeah, I
Get a
tried.
LinkedIn account. And it's really more for when people are looking, they're going to look you up.
Yeah.
Okay?
I've
And
had
then-
other agencies, I thought, brand new to this, I was like, okay, except they want to set up meetings to steal me from Gilliland.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Instagram. How many of y'all know Instagram? Okay, I don't know.
Yeah,
Instagram. I have an Instagram account. It's because of my daughter, but thank God it links with Facebook because it's the only way it goes on there. I don't know Instagram. It's a big part of the business. Learn it. Stacy will go over more social media, and there are certain agencies that blow it apart. All right, who tweets? Who knows what Who knows what Tweety is? Okay, I don't tweet. I have a Twitter account. I have a Twitter account. Again, there are agents that do it really well. If you want to learn those type of social media stuff, ask Stacy. She'll put you with the agent. They'll explain it to you. They'll go in depth. But in our world now, Facebook is the thing. And people don't want to see every day, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate agent. No. They want to see more about, I'm at a restaurant. This is a good restaurant.
Rosie Slushing. They're gonna start following you. So then when you put your open house, your for sale, you're gonna start getting more followers. This particular agent, she's rehabbing the house. She took pictures of her rehabbing the house, step by step by step. She's got a lot of followers, entertaining. She builds credibility. It's about building credibility. You still want to put stuff on there about real estate, but that's not your main objective. Your main objective, again, it's like anything else, to get people to recognize you. Take 7 consecutive touches for it to record. Every 17 days, I actually think it's less than that. They'll forget you unless you remind them. Multiple platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. You must follow up. If there's an agent out there, and I don't know, can't remember who it is I follow, they're great. Like, what was it the other day? Do you prefer, he does polls. Do you prefer to have someone hand wash your car or go through an automated car wash? And people responded.
Yeah.
But you gotta respond. Thank you.
You can do this.
Add them to your database. Friend request clients before they're closing, because you want, and always ask permission to put their name in. Last thing you want to do is take a picture of them and not say a word to them and then put them on Facebook, because you know what? They haven't told their friends and family that they moved. Ask. You'd be surprised. I mean, I have a young couple, and we were closing. I said, "Oh, can I put this on Facebook?" And she said, "No, I have not told my parents we bought a house. I have not told my parents." This is a millennial. That's when I was a kid. You didn't even write. When I was 24 years old, I was talking to my mom and dad every day. Okay, she had not told her parents, and they live here in Atlanta, so I couldn't put it on. So make sure you ask. Ask your friends to share your post. Right? It's a great way of meeting. And this is in your book. That's why I'm not going over it real bit. If it's not in your book, let me know. This is what Twitter, I'm eating cake. I like eating cake. Okay. Here's about the Facebook page. Give yourself 5 stars. Did you know that? You can go rate yourself on your Facebook page. Okay. Instagram. I'm going to let y'all go through this. At any questions, let me know. Again, it's more about getting your name out there and not necessarily, and slowly people understanding. It's a place of giving. If you give, you get. Have you ever heard the phrase "giver's gain"?
Yeah.
Giver's gain. That's the key. Yes, question.
I wanted to make a comment for anyone that's going to utilize social media for your business and you're not used to it. There's some really awesome places on YouTube to be able to find social media. There's different ways that you can see what the different algorithms are for Facebook, for Instagram, etc. They change. So right now it's different than it was last year. Certain times to post, what keywords you don't want to have in your post, because Facebook will drop it down on the seen list. There's certain things you can post that you'll get more people to see.
Can I ask a favor?
Yeah.
What do we put in?
Would you make where to go for us old people that don't have a clue?
Sure.
I know,
Sure.
I'm like this.
I'm like, okay. So
Do you know anybody that will do a face page for you?
I will do it.
your Facebook page.
So much.
It's
And an Insta Twitter or whatever. And an
Okay, real quickly, because I know y'all. All right, this is more important than anything. This is more important than anything I have said today, done today, or will do today for y'all. For me, I got to go do a couple of those things. These are questions that might be on the test. They may not be on the test.
Are you giving us a sheet of paper?
No, you cannot have the sheet of paper.
Oh. Is that the test?
Maybe.
Wait, what now?
These are some things you need to. Okay, we've gone over a lot of it. So very obviously, there's going to be farming. What prospecting. The 4
C's.
Oh, right.
Farming, prospecting.
Right, that's going to be on there. There's going to be talked about social media on there.
And she said the standing up thing, standing up when you're doing the calls.
Oh yeah, that's
lead generating.
that's I get, like, if I'm working from home, and I don't work from home a lot, that's why I rent an office. That's my choice, is because I personally get distracted very easy. But the days I'm working from home, I still shower, I still put on I dress, like, in case someone calls. Because you never know when you're going to get a call, right? Never know. So if someone calls me and says, hey, can you come by? I'm in the area or whatever. Well, no, I got to shower. I got to put my makeup on. But you know what I'm saying? But what works for you, works for you. I always, when I work from home, I always shower. I go to I don't sit at the couch. I sit at a desk. If it works for you to sit on the couch, that's fine. But if you're in a professional mode, I think you do better professionally. So I'm going to ask you some questions. I want somebody to give me an answer. I'm not giving you the answer unless you're right or wrong. So your sphere of influence is part of your. Oh, we didn't even go over this, did we? Who knows what a Met is?
A who?
Met, M-E-T-S.
People that you know.
Yeah.
People that you have literally met.
Yesterday.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go over it, and I apologize.
Not
So this is what we're doing. This.
Yeah.
Mets. It's in here. Read it. Mets. People you've met. Your sphere of people you know. Who you know. Mets. Okay. I apologize, and that's why I'm running out. I feel like I'm rushing. So
So we're gonna have lots of questions for you.
you're gonna have. No, you can come with me any questions. Okay. Which of the following are forms of prospecting? Okay. Mail outs, door knocking, cold calling, sitting at a grocery store.
Prospecting, you said?
Yeah.
Sitting in a grocery store.
Is that prospecting?
Watching people.
None of the above.
I don't know.
But
Name it again. A, B, or C. Say it
A,
again.
B, and C.
Mail outs,
A, B, and C.
door knocking, calling
Door
expired,
Door knocking.
sitting at a grocery store.
All of the above.
Okay, all of the above could be prospecting, but really, mail outs and calling expired are probably the big ones. Door knocking, mail outs are not. Door knocking and calling expired. When you're prospecting, you're making calls, you're making face contact.
Trying to talk to
Right.
Cold
Mail
call.
outs is just, it's not, you're prospecting, you're farming, but it's not what they call prospecting. Does that make sense?
So door knocking and cold calls.
Right, sorry. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if we went over this or not, but y'all should know this. A contact is defined as, what is a contact?
a person whose information you have within your possession to send them information and reach out to them.
A two-way street about real estate.
Okay.
Okay? That's, and again, that could be they need a roofer. They need
Got it, okay.
the ultimate goal is what? To cultivate them
Yeah.
to get to the closing table, to meet with them face to face. It's a two-way street, okay? A contact is a two-way street. I'm contacting, this is not a two-way, where's my postcard? This is a one-way street,
Yeah.
right? Because it's just going there.
A
They're
contact.
not, just not.
Someone you can do business with.
Right, okay. Okay, and this is, we didn't go over this but it's always on the test and I forget about it. The income roller coaster ride can be avoided by, does anybody know what the income roller coaster is? Okay, in real estate, we have our ups and we have our downs, we have our ups, we have our downs, right? That's a roller coaster. Okay, and what happens is we're going up, right? We got showings, we got clients, we got buyers, and we forget about what? What's the main thing we have to do?
Prospecting.
Lead generation. Forget about it. Then we start going back down, right? That's the roller coaster effect. If we do lead generation and you do it right and you're staying on top, hopefully it's smooth sailing. It's avoid the roller coaster. The way you avoid the roller coaster is
By doing lead generation.
Lead gen, right? You'll hear Brad say it every team meeting. If you haven't been to team meetings, I recommend that you come. It's very, very, you learn a lot. When using Facebook, it's more effective to be interested instead of interesting instead of interested. Neither Facebook shouldn't be used for business. And for Elise, I'm going to throw this into what's Facebook.
Social media.
You should be interested
Yeah.
in what other people are doing. You still want to be interesting, but you want to be interested in them first.
Absolutely. So it goes back to liking and commenting.
It gets more attention that way.
Right. So, again, it goes back to
Givers gain. We didn't go over this, and I apologize because we really talked about this. According to NAR, there's a 72% chance of converting a lead if responded to within the first hour, first 4 hours, first 12 hours, first 24 hours.
First 24.
First hour.
Oh.
It's even lower than that now.
What did you say?
72%.
Converting a web lead. And one thing I will tell you, you are going to be inundated. And when I mean inundated, you're going to be getting phone calls. Everybody has the lead program. Everybody has the hot prospects. Everybody. Okay. They all say it's an exclusive lead. All right. If you believe that, okay, give me the money, I will give you the names.
You give us your own contact names.
And I will give you whatever names you want. They will give you a lead because they collect it and they mined it. But if they tell you you're the only one getting it,
that's a lie.
Yeah, they're selling it to you, they're selling it to you, they're selling it to you. Zillow, we put Zillow on the map. Why? Because Zillow came out with a great engine to Zillow. Everybody goes to where before they even go to realtor.com or your own website. They go to Zillow. Zillow did a great job of marketing, and I was here when Zillow started. I mean, I was in the business. Zillow came out. We're not competing against the agent. We are an advertising platform.
Lies.
Okay. So now what are they doing? They're buying and selling homes, right? They just got into the mortgage business.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, Zillow Mortgage. They just got in the mortgage business.
Wow.
Who funded all of that? Agents and mortgage people.
That's what happens.
Okay.
Stabbed in the back. That's what happens.
So, and they always said, you're going to be the first. Okay, if you want to buy leads, buy leads. I'm not saying don't do it, but don't fall into the trap of you're the exclusive. I'm going to pay you extra money. And be prepared. There are some agents that you hear about that do very well with leads, but they buy a lot of leads. Okay? So
what's their net?
You have to ask them. I don't do it. Okay? But people are gonna call you. Hey, we have this great program. We're only offering it to 2 agents in the 30338 zip code. Okay? You got the phone call, I got the phone call, and 20 other people did. Okay, or we guarantee we'll put you number 1 on Google. Okay, for $39.95, we're gonna put you number 1 on Google. All right, and you get desperate. Okay, we have bad days. Take a deep breath, and the best is, can I have your information? I'll call you back, and they'll say, well, we can't. We have to do it today. It's only. So I'm just all right. Get off my soapbox. Whatever. Okay. All right. So I did talk about this. I don't know how many I picked up. Prior to the date of your open house, it's recommended that you knock on the doors surrounding the homes. True or false?
True.
Okay. Know the inventory in your target area will A, build confidence, help you price effectively, capture leads when the home they're calling about doesn't fit the buyer's need. Or all of the above. Look at y'all, y'all were listening. Marketing is A, passive lead generation, active lead generation, not lead generation at all, or expensive.
Active.
God, I actually got 2 of y'all. All right, if y'all miss this one, I'll quit. What makes up the following 4 C's? Come on.
Cultivate.
1.
Connect.
Close. 2. All right.
Capture, cultivate, connect, close.
Yes! Oh, didn't.
It's a multiple choice test.
Yes.
Multiple purpose.
But again, this is, when they write these tests, it's to make you think. It's like when you took the
word
test.
choice.
They want to trip you up.
I mean,
okay.
Insane.
In addition to prospecting for buyers and sellers, which of the following are also areas in which successful agents should lead generate? Agents from other companies, commercial clients, I don't understand this one. Talented people to be part of a growing team, or all of the above?
All of the above.
Right. Why would you say, someone asked me, it's agents from other companies. Why are successful agents talking to other agents?
They sit,
Work deal?
they sit on the other side of the table.
Yeah.
They have homes for sale when you have buyers.
Right, so
Be the first to know.
that's what I was getting. That's what I was getting for. So, I have a client that is looking for a particular property in Indian Hills. Okay, and this is not. I'm just talking. And there's a couple of agents, or we can go back to Robin Blass, right? Okay, Robin Blass. Somebody Rocky's another good one. Karen Cannon, right? So let's say you have a particular client and you've seen everything in they're really Dunwoody. They're not out for, they do other listings, don't get me wrong, but they're really Dunwoody. Hidden Branches, you have RJ McCarty. So you've seen everything on FMLS, right? You pick up the phone and say, hey, if you it's a small community, so if you, that's why I always say, if you're professional, they remember. Pick up the phone and say, hey, Karen, I have a client looking for this. Do you have anything coming up, any of your agents coming up? Because they know, right? I have a client looking for 5 bedrooms, 4 baths in Hidden Branches. RJ, matter of fact, I have something coming up. That's, you have a good rapport. As mad as you are throughout the whole negotiation when you're sitting across from the closing table, smile. I shouldn't say always, 80% of the time I write a thank you note to the agent. Buy or sell. I'm not trying to recruit them. Most of them are Keller Williams agents. What am I doing? So if I have to ask a favor or a question, I can pick up the phone.
Cultivate.
Okay. And I know y'all are ready to go, and I'm sorry. Let's see if there's any other good questions. Oh, somebody brought this up already. Standing when you lead generate creates more energy. True or false?
True.
Okay. All right. I'm going to kind of stop there. Any questions for me? Anything about finding your business maybe we didn't cover, you have a question about, let me know. One of the things that I was going to show y'all, and I'll come up and look, y'all can do this, this is kind of, I always have this little packet ready, okay? Because if someone calls me and says, can you come meet about, I'm only in town, whatever it is, okay? So, did y'all, if you did not get this, I don't think I've handed out, come get this. Okay, and then here is the preferred vendors. So you can, I don't want these all to be your 25, okay?
But we can use those for our
make
clients.
some of our own, right?
We can use those for our clients.
Oh, yeah. So, but you need to have your own. That's a good start. Okay, so warranty information, home warranty. This is my preferred lender. Her last name is Levin. This is free. This is another one of our vendors. It's called The Quick Guide to Common Issues. And they actually have another one, which I'm just out of. I'm waiting for it to send. It has a little plastic pocket so you can put your card in here. Okay, and this is great because
And where do you get
Contact the vendors and ask them for that stuff.
yeah, and if you know where the mail slots are,
No.
Yeah.
you'll see them there. So it talks about what.
Like, they even put your information and picture and everything. This is from Home Pro.
Yeah, oh, is that after the inspection?
That's
Right.
after the inspection.
Right. And Home Pro, yeah, and most of them follow. Home Pro does a good job of that. So people, these are just stupid. They talk radon gas, water entry. So what I'll say to people is, hey, this is great bathroom material. Read it. Let me know what questions you have, so I can, Well, I mean, if you don't joke with them, they're never going to look at it, right?
Would you say that to the woman?
Absolutely, what I say to the
Curious.
woman. And then, has everybody seen this?
No.
No Atlanta? Yeah. Okay, in the bullpen, or the, whatever you call it, there's always a stack of these.
Both of them, I put them together already. See?
So, so please remember to sign things. If you have any questions, if you have anything you want to see, please let me know.
I need, you said about making my list a little bigger.
Yes, everybody did their instructor evaluation.
What advice could you give me? Because I'm just all over the place at this moment.
Okay, so you pulled out your memory jogger.